Heat and humidity is going to creep back in. Full forecast and traffic coming up in 5 minutes. Right now in Nashville, got a shooting investigation underway. Channel 4 says a bullet went through a man's window as he was driving on Hamilton Church Pike this morning just after 1 o'clock. Hit him in the head. Drove himself to a fire station for help, was rushed to a hospital with what are described as serious injuries. No word on a suspect. Election 2024. At least one Tennessee delegate to the Democratic convention knows who he's voting for.
Even if he died, I would probably still vote for Joe Biden. I would vote for a dead man before I would vote for Donald J. Trump.
That's Nashville State Rep Vincent Dixie telling News 2 he thinks Biden has his full support. But Stephen Portnoy says that's not the case in D.C. and Hollywood.
Donors are increasingly skittish as a major one. George Clooney writes in the New York Times that he doesn't see Democrats winning with Biden at the top of the ticket. Senior members of the Congressional Black Caucus say they're sticking with the president, but more junior members like Cori Bush of Missouri are less emphatic when asked if Biden can beat Trump.
Yeah, I can't speak to that. I mean, it's up to the president.
Sources say top House Democrat Hakeem Jeffries has pledged to bring members' concerns directly to Biden.
Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer invited top advisors from the Biden campaign to meet with Senate Democrats directly to address their concerns about the president's campaign and his path forward. Meanwhile, all ears and eyes on Biden this afternoon when he gives a solo news conference to wrap up the NATO summit. That's set for 4:30 Middle Tennessee time. In convenience stores in Alabama, Oklahoma, and Texas, a company called American Rounds has installed vending machines that dispense ammunition, but only after the purchaser scans a valid ID into the device.
Then it's going to do a facial recognition to match that person's face to the picture on the ID.
Company founder Grant Major says it's more reliable than online ammo purchases, which are also illegal.
It's very easy to click on a website and say, yes, I am 21.
He says his vending machine verifies it. Market Numbers Report brought to you by Beacon Capital Management, online at beaconcm.com. Here's Dave Packer, who says we get another look at inflation today.
It's a new milestone for the S&P, which has now crossed the 5,600 mark for the first time. Investors are inspired by Fed Chair Jerome Powell's remarks to the House and Senate about an upcoming interest rate cut. This makes 37 times just this year that the S&P has set an all-time high. The Dow added 429 points. The Nasdaq gained 218. Investors will also be paying attention to the next inflation reading out. Economists are expecting inflation will be 3.1% higher for the year, lower than last month's reading of 3.3%. The tax preparation and financial software company Intuit is laying off about 10% of its workforce, or about 1,800 employees, as part of a reorganization plan that will add more artificial intelligence into its products and services. BMW is recalling more than 390,000 vehicles in the U.S. because they were made with airbag inflators that could explode, flinging sharp metal objects into the face of the driver.
All right, Market Numbers Report shows Dow futures are down 22, S&P down 4, Nasdaq down 13. That's the latest news, traffic, and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
Hey, good morning. Welcome to Groundhog Day. It's what it feels like lately with all the news that's going on. 5:06, good morning. Dan Mendes is on vacation in case you have been away. He is going to come back on Monday. We're looking forward to his return. Johnny B sitting in for him with Ken Weaver in the newsroom. Jeff Malinoff in my usual spot. And, of course, you at 615-737-9986. And that, of course, is the Super Text line, the Members Nutrition Super Text line. That way you can get involved with us that way, and we can read your thoughts. Also, you can watch the radio show. My gosh, you knew. You can watch it on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, SuperTalk TV, by the way, and 997WTN.com. And be sure and download our app or find apps that carry our radio station. You can put in the earbuds in your phones, and you can listen to us that way. Or there is always the tried and true method, which is turn on the radio, which is one of my favorites. It's 5:07. Good morning. Thursday. Today is the Big Boy press conference day, and looking forward to seeing what's going to happen there. But I tell you what, Chucky Schumer, he had this to say if he was going to back Joe Biden.
As I've said before, I'm with Joe.
There he is. He said, if you couldn't hear because of the screaming, I don't know why I'm getting so much ear.
I think that was the actual show. I think that was the actual.
No, it was not. It was in here.
Was it really?
Yeah, it was in here. It's the phone.
I'm used to these politicians having bad mics. So.
No, it's the phones. Anyway, yeah, Chuck Schumer saying,
as I've said before, I'm with Joe.
Well, as a Democrat, and especially right now as the Democrats go, not so quick. He may be saying,
as I've said before, I'm with Joe.
Apparently not so much. They say that the Senate Majority Leader is reportedly talking to folks about the possibility of a new presidential candidate to lead the Democrat Party ticket. This just gets better and better as the days unfold. And, of course, the Axios is reporting that over the last 12 days, Schumer has been listening to donors' ideas, their suggestions about the best way forward for the party. According to those people familiar with the matter, they said even as Schumer has been saying he's all in for Joe, he's been signaling to donors that he's willing to change to a candidate who has a better chance of winning against Donald Trump. So I don't know if I buy this I'm with Joe bit.
As I've said before, I'm with Joe.
Okay. See, that's the thing about right now. The Democrats are just lying right and left. They can't tell the truth to save their lives. And what's even worse now, this is what kills me. And why are people still listening to celebrities? People are treating celebrities, or I guess the media is. I won't say people. You know, people think I hate celebrities. I really don't. I don't hate celebrities at all. I don't hate anybody. But I get upset with people that treat celebrities like they're these kingmakers, which they are not. They're actors. George Clooney, the great Clooney, has spoken. Just, 13 weeks ago, held a fundraiser for Joe Biden. Talking about how great he was. And now, 13 weeks later, he writes an op-ed about why Joe Biden needs to step down. And he was the one denying that to any reporter that there was any problems with Joe. Same with Michael Douglas. Michael Douglas went on The View. And like I said, what was it? It was only a couple of weeks ago that Michael Douglas held a big fundraiser. And I remember seeing Michael Douglas interviewed, and he's going, there's nothing wrong with Joe. Joe's sharp. I've been with Joe. I love Joe. Well, now he goes on The View and says this.
You even hosted a fundraiser
I did.
At your home in April, right?
They did.
So what do you think of his debate performance, and do you agree with calls for him to step aside? Even Nancy Pelosi seems on the fence now about him stepping aside.
I know this is such a tough one, but I adore the guy. 50 years of public service.
He's a lovely man.
A wonderful guy.
Yeah.
And this just happens to be one of these elections that is just so crucial.
Yeah.
And it's really hard. I don't worry necessarily today or tomorrow, but a year down the line, I worry. I am concerned.
Well, we all are, Michael. But I just can't believe how fast the turnover is.
Even Rob Reiner.
Yeah, Rob Reiner.
Buddy.
But see, Rob Reiner is wishy-washy about it. He changes day to day.
He had one, and then he backtracked, and then I think yesterday he went again.
He's back.
He's back on the stepping down side.
I tell you, man, celebrities are hilarious. This whole situation, I mean, on one hand, it's sad, but it's hilarious as well to watch these folks just imploding and to watch the Democrats change their story, lie right and left. I mean, this is unbelievable. I never thought I'd see anything like this.
Yeah, like the Rob Reiner thing, that was in a 3-day span.
Yes, it was.
3 days ago, he says step down. The next day, he says if he did as well as he did today, blah, 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 he'll shut us all up. And then yesterday, he said he needs to step down. In a 3-day span, he went back and forth.
Wishy-washy, man, I'm telling you.
Stephen King, another big guy, also said he needs to step down. Mark Hamill's like the only major one that I've seen that has not said he should step down. He's just going in on Trump rather than Biden.
Yeah. See, that's what's going on. It's funny how it's changing. It's funny how it's changing because, like I said, George Clooney, Michael Douglas, just weeks ago were admonishing all of us for, hey, there's nothing wrong with Joe. There's nothing wrong. Joe's sharp. Joe's sharper than me. In fact, he said, I remember Michael Douglas saying behind the scenes, Joe Biden was sharp. They were trying to tell you that everything was fine. And when they could see that it wasn't, now that it's been on the spotlight display, well, now everybody's changing their story. But they still love Joe. And if I were Joe, I wouldn't trust anyone that said I'm with Joe. Apparently, you're not. Well, it gets even better. Nancy Pelosi, I don't know if you guys saw this, but she got really testy with a reporter yesterday. And she can't make up her mind either. All she says was, well, the thing is, Nancy's trying to say that Joe needs to make a decision. Joe has made a decision. He said he's staying in. He's not trying to decide. It's you guys. But she got very temperamental with a reporter yesterday, which probably wasn't a good idea for a Democrat because they're supposed to be, they're supposed to be together on this thing. But yeah, Nancy got a little testy. It's 5:14. It's time to check the roads at Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
From the ARS Rescue Router of Nashville. Traffic every 10 minutes every morning on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Thank you, Brother Jack. Looks like it's going to be partly sunny today with a high of 92. Folks, the heat's going to return tomorrow. We're going to start seeing temperatures in the mid to upper 90s. Look out by Monday. We're going to hit 100 Monday. And that's going to be, it ain't going to be fun. Yeah, but right now it's pretty nice. 68 degrees, partly cloudy on Nashville's Music Row. And, of course, is Nashville's Morning News, where we also have the Gang of Three Amigos coming up at 5:35. Got a lot of things we want to cover there, including a gentleman that, had a problem with a hospital. He actually was a celebrity, but the hospital didn't think so. And it caused some major problems. Plus, speaking of celebrities, we'll also play a little sound for you of a celebrity that got booed on stage because he decided to talk politics. We'll have that for you coming up. It's 5:16, and of course, even though there are a lot of people asking for Joe Biden to step down, and a lot of them, of course, being celebrities, and of course, the great George Clooney has spoken. So I think if George Clooney said anything, he's so brilliant that we should just go ahead and Joe Biden should just step down. But Senator John Fetterman got on Fox News last night, as a matter of fact, with Jesse Waters. And I would play you the cuts, but it's painful for me to listen to John Fetterman. Because even though he has gotten better, there are still parts to where he's having problems. And I just hate to hear it. But anyway, he told Fox News host Jesse Waters on his Jesse Waters Primetime that he realizes that Biden is not as sharp as he was a few years ago. But he's not going to change his support for the commander-in-chief. He said even though he's not as sharp as he once was, he said he's still getting the job done. He said at fundraisers, people are so happy to meet him. They love him. And he tried to point out that he had a bad debate. And look what happened. Yeah, exactly. Exactly, Mr. Fetterman. Even though I've kind of started liking John Fetterman, he's interesting to watch. And sometimes, especially when it came to Israel, I really agreed with him. I don't agree with him on this about Joe Biden. But as a conservative, and I am part of the Chris Hand Conservatives for Biden that support Biden, and you know why. It's all because Donald Trump can whip him. And that's what we need. But anyway, Fetterman said that he is standing behind Joe Biden, and you got to give John Fetterman that. At least he's staying on point. Of course, then you have Nancy Pelosi, who has been kind of wishy-washy about it herself. Whatever Joe wants to do. Joe, well, he's doing such a good job. He's doing such, that's how she talks. But during a Wednesday morning appearance on Morning Joe, she got on there, and I think it was Chris Hand yesterday that said she looked a little, makeupless on Morning Joe. He was right. When you look at the video, it's pretty wicked. But she does not look bad, though. She looks good. But in spite of that, nobody's home. She said it's up to the president to decide if he's going to run, and we're all encouraging him to make that decision because time is running short. Well, things didn't quite go so well later on in the day because then Nancy Pelosi, she was walking in the hallways of Congress, and a reporter came up. I don't know who the reporter is. I don't recognize him. But the reporter asked her, and I hope you can hear this. The audio is not great. But if you cannot, I will give you what she says here. But they find each other in the hallway, and this is how it transponded.
Do you believe that him waiting so long to make this decision is part of the plan?
Any comments in the hallway about the fate of our nation. Okay?
Are you concerned whether or not he can win in November?
I think he can.
Do you believe he should run for re-election?
I'm not speaking English to you.
I'm not speaking English to you?
Statements about any of that right now in the hallway.
I don't know where else they can talk to you, Nancy. If you could not hear that, I understand the audio was not great. But the reporter, who is an ABC reporter, Rachel Scott, she said, do you believe that Joe Biden waiting so long to make this decision? And then she interrupts, Nancy does. She says, I'm not going to make any comments in the hallway about the fate of our nation. Okay. What kind of answer is that? Are you concerned whether or not he can win in November? The reporter asked. I think he can, she says. Do you think he should run for president? Then Nancy gets really unhinged. I'm not. Am I speaking English to you? I'm not going to be making any statements of any kind right now in the hallway of Congress. Where else are they supposed to? Where else are they supposed to talk to you, Nancy?
Well, not in Congress.
Oh man, yeah, we can't speak in the hallway. I will not talk in the hallway.
That Rachel Scott, boy, she was on her.
Oh, she was. And I'm kind of proud. I can't believe the media now. The media seems to be in a feeding frenzy now.
Yeah.
But it also makes me wonder who in the Democrat Party or who in the upper echelon of the Democrat Party is saying, okay, let's turn the tide. Let's turn the coverage. Because, man, they seem to be really, they are attacking this subject nonstop.
Well, you see on the other side as well, they're pushing for that Project 2025 thing pretty hard. That's like that's their counter, if you will.
Oh, yeah. 2025. Gosh, I hope we live to see it. Anyway, it's 5:22, and coming up in the news at 5:30 is Ken Weaver. What's happening in the news, Ken?
Well, there's a brand new poll on what Americans want President Biden to do. Hear from one of the delegates from Tennessee to the Democratic National Convention. And in the American workplace, a new push to force companies to provide paid leave to all employees. And legal ways to get high could be limited further in Tennessee. We'll tell you about it at 5:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
5:28. It's Nashville's Morning News. Johnny B sitting in for Dan Mandis this morning, along with Ken Weaver and Jeff Malinoff. We've got the Gang of Three Amigos coming up in just mere moments at 35 after. Before we get to the news with Ken Weaver, did you guys know we have a new mayor in Robbie, Georgia? Yes.
A new mayor in Robbie, Georgia.
Robbie, Georgia. It's a 21-year-old.
21-year-old mayor.
Brooke Huckabee, and not any relation to Mike Huckabee.
What's his platform, Brother Johnny B?
Well, her platform.
Oh, her?
It's her. She's a college student, and she's studying agriculture technology, which Robbie, Georgia, that's what they're big in.
Yes, sir.
Is that type of stuff. So she says that she is going to really make that part of her, to really build up the town's what am I trying to say?
I don't know, Brother Johnny.
I don't either.
Food
Tractor tires.
I'm tired. But anyway, the young mayor says she's juggling her new responsibilities with her studies and a part-time job, relying on careful scheduling.
Wait. She has a part-time job. She's a mayor and in school.
Yeah, she's in school, part-time mayor.
How big is this city?
How
big is this town?
Robbie, I'm sure it's not very big. It's mostly a farming community, which is what I was trying to say. She's trying to help the farmers in the community.
Yes, sir.
And do more to make the farming community more viable.
Yes,
so that's
sir.
what she's trying to do. Good luck to her. I really want to watch this and see how it goes.
How do you spell a Robbie?
It's like a Arab with an I.
Robbie, Georgia.
Robbie, Georgia.
Yeah, man. I tell you what, boys, she's a go-getter.
Yes, she is. No stopping this girl.
Good for her.
We want to watch what she does in the future, because there's very few. I mean, I've known young people that get involved in politics, but not to this extent.
452 people call Robbie, Georgia, their home.
There you go. And one of those people is now their mayor, and she's all of 21.
Yes, sir.
Well, it's time for the news. It's 5:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
.30 on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. And Melody Layden says the hottest days of the year so far could be in our very near future. Full forecast and traffic in 5 minutes. Election 2024. This Tennessee delegate to the Democratic National Convention is all in for President Biden.
I'm not going to base my decision on one debate. I'm going to base it on everything else he's saying. It will be foolish, quite frankly, because the new person, if they were to choose a new nominee, there's no guarantee they can get on all the ballots they need to get on.
That is Memphis State Senator Ramesh Akbari telling News 2 her reasoning. Meanwhile, Jim Ryan with some new polling.
The ABC News Washington Post Ipsos poll was conducted in English and Spanish among 2,431 adults. It shows President Biden and former President Donald Trump separated by 1 percentage point where the election held today. But 2/3, including a majority of Biden's backers, believe he should step aside as the Democratic nominee based on his debate performance 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, all ears and eyes on President Biden later today. He's scheduled to give his first solo news conference in 8 months. It's scheduled for 4:30 Middle Tennessee time. In the American workplace, a new push to force companies to provide paid leave to everyone. Activists with Paid Leave for All and Moms Rising yesterday delivered a petition with more than 55,000 signatures to Congress. Critics say paid leave requirements would be government overreach and force businesses to raise prices, which consumers will pay. And here in Tennessee, legal ways to get high could be limited further under proposed new rules from the State Department of Agriculture. The rule could make smoking hemp flowers illegal because when you put heat to a hemp flower, the legal limit of THC is exceeded. Here's what Knoxville State Senator Richard Biggs said about it on Channel 4.
This would be a roundabout way to slip true marijuana in, not the degradation of the THCA. And that is an unfortunate side effect that's happened when that Delta-9 product sits on the shelf.
Basically, they don't want real marijuana on the shelf, is what he's saying. Tennessee hemp growers say they're going to sue the state if this new rule is adopted. And that's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
Dan Mandis here, and yes, it is an election year, and I bet you're wondering if you're invested for the future and your retirement, regardless of what happens in November. Well, I can't tell you that, obviously, but what I can tell you is that Paul Winkler and his team can help you get the answers that you need. Now, I know that Paul has been on the radio here in Middle Tennessee for nearly 20 years, and he and his team, they're all former investment brokers and insurance agents, and one was even a securities attorney who worked for one of those big financial companies. In other words, they know the investing world inside and out, and they're ready to put that knowledge to work for you. Check out Paul Winkler and his entire team at paulwinkler.com, 615-851-1950. Now, you do need to know that I get paid every time I do these commercials, but I wouldn't be doing them if I didn't believe in Paul Winkler and his guidance. Call them, 615-851-1950. Tell them I told you to reach out. That website is paulwinkler.com.
Ole! Good morning, everyone. It's 5:37. Dan Manda's on vacation. We're looking forward to his return on Monday, but you've got the rest of the crew here. Ken Weaver in the newsroom. Good morning.
Good morning, boys. Yes.
And the guy that's sitting in my usual spot, Jeff Malinoff. Jeff, how you doing?
Doing good. Hanging in there. Hanging in there.
That's the way to go, Brother Jeff.
That's right, Brother Jeff. Hanging in there like a hair in a biscuit, aren't you, buddy? Hanging in there like a loose tooth. Using all the old phrases.
I think I'm hanging better than that.
Well, that's good, man.
I like the hair in the biscuit.
I do too.
I had to like double take. I'm like, oh. Now I had to. Next time I have a biscuit, I have to double take.
Yeah, I stole those, but I love those old sayings.
I've never had a hair in a biscuit.
I never have either.
Never want one either.
I don't either. I've had hair in other things.
Like, hopefully I
like
see
burgers.
it before I have the biscuit.
That is the worst feeling in the world, to bite into some food and all of a sudden there's a hair.
Happens to my daughter all the time. I'm telling you, dude, every time the Weaver family goes out to eat, she finds a hair in something. And it's weird.
Well, that is weird.
Is it her hair?
No. Because we've done the analysis.
I mean, it's not. We took it to a DNA testing.
It's not scientific. It's there at the table. No, that is not her hair.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you can tell.
Sometimes it's an eyelash.
Oh.
You can tell an eyelash.
Yes.
A little hair.
Yeah.
A little stronger than your normal hair.
Yeah, that's true.
A little curvature upward.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's nasty.
Yeah, it is.
And here we are talking about it at breakfast while somebody's going,
oh, yeah.
Well, I was going to have this biscuit. I think I'll pass now.
There's got to be someone making a biscuit right now, and I do apologize to them.
Oh, boy, I'd go for a big old plate of biscuits.
Oh, that would sound good. Hey, Jeff.
Yes, sir.
Since you're a young man, I don't mean to constantly harp on that, but you're younger than us. What kind of music are you into?
I don't really have a preference. Country, I think, is my main, and then like alt rock I like that too. Like 2000s alt rock is one of my go-tos when I'm like at the gym or something like that. I like to listen to that. But like if I'm trying to relax, country is what I go to. Like if I'm on the lake with my family, we're listening to country music.
Okay, Jeff, I agree with you. I like your choices, but what we're going to do one day is that Ken Weaver and myself, maybe Dan Mendes will join in, but we're going to Van Halenize you.
Van Halen?
Yes, we are. We're going to Van Halenize you.
Know what that is, Brother Jeff?
I know who Van Halen is, yes.
And by the time we get done with you, you're going to be wearing Eddie Van Halen black and white stripe stuff. You're going to be wanting to play guitar. I guarantee it.
I haven't bought a shirt in like a good couple of years, so it's going to take a lot for me to actually buy a shirt.
Oh,
Brother Johnny B will give you one.
I'll give you one.
Oh, you'll give it to me?
I've got some Van Halen.
That's how I usually get my clothes. It's like my brothers or my dad's like, this doesn't fit me. You want it? I'm like, okay.
Well, there you go.
That's my closet.
That's kind of how my life went too, Jeff. Yeah. But anyway, the Rolling Stones. Now, I know you're not into them because they're way too old for you.
No, they're fine.
Do you like them? You like the Stones?
Yeah, I like classic. I like classic rock too. Don't get me wrong.
Well, that's
I like
cool.
Queen. I like.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Queen's one of my favorites. Like Bohemian Rhapsody is one of my favorite songs.
You're the man. See, I knew you were cool. I knew deep down in there. And listen, this is what happened to Mick Jagger. Now, this is a cool part of the Rolling Stones. And I got to give Mick Jagger credit in a way, because every time Mick Jagger goes into a town, he will basically walk around the town, take in everything, find out what the local, habits are and where people like to go. He'll talk about it on stage. And usually when he does, the crowd goes crazy. They love it. Well, this time, the Rolling Stones happened to be playing in Canada. And where was he at in Canada? I'm trying to figure out where this... Oh, Vancouver. It was a Vancouver crowd. And I'll need sound on this. But the Micker decided to, bring in some politics.
I mean, we love your Mr. Trudeau. I mean, his family's always been such big fans of our band.
I guess you can't get no satisfaction.
Yeah.
You can't always get what you want.
I have seen this clip. Do you see the look of confusion on his face?
Yes, he knew he stepped in.
He was like, oh.
Come on, Mick.
Oh, no.
You're like 80 years old, dude. You know better.
Oh, no, I shouldn't have said.
Did you see what he did afterwards? Is there a rest of that clip? Because afterwards he goes, and what about Canada and your soccer team?
Yeah, they started talking about soccer.
Because they were in the semifinals of the Copa America. And it was like the farthest they've ever gone or something like that. So they were like high on soccer at the moment.
Oh, yeah.
So they were high on something.
It was
Or maybe Mick was.
I think it's funny that Keith and Ron just kind of let Mick hang there. They could have started playing the next song.
Yeah, they left him out to
just let him
dry.
sit there.
Yeah. Let's let him just sit there for a moment.
Yeah, well, fortunately, he did counter that pretty well because of the Canada. If Canada didn't have anything going for it, if since Edmonton lost in the Stanley Cup, if they were not doing good in soccer, I don't think he has anything to counter with.
Oh, he would have.
So
he's a smart.
You think he would have found something?
He's very smart. Out of all of the Rolling Stones, Mick Jagger's a very smart guy, and that's why he is very good entertainer. He knows how to get out of a situation like that. He did.
He wasn't reading that crowd right.
No, he didn't read that crowd at all.
He apparently doesn't read the news.
Well, if anyone cares, right after that, yesterday, after all this happened, Canada lost Argentina 2-0. So they got killed.
Well, then that's good. It's happened before then.
Yeah, when you get shut out in soccer, that's like getting your ass kicked in football by 100 points.
Exactly.
Well, Argentina did just win the World Cup 2 years ago.
Yeah.
So they're still one of the best teams in the world. So it was not a shock, but
Are you a big soccer fan?
I like sports. I follow all sports. I don't really have a soccer team per se. I just sometimes it gets I love the passion, especially in Europe, of soccer. So I always kind of get hooked to it a little bit.
Singing and drinking.
Yeah. They're great.
That's what they
over
do,
there.
man.
Oh, yeah.
I'm more NFL football, college football. That's my go-to.
Football. Who you for in college football?
Well, I went to the University of Arizona, so I'm a Wildcat.
Okay.
And they were really good last year, and it was fun. And then our head coach bailed on us when we were at our highest point. But our best players are still with us. Our quarterback and wide receiver who are projected to go our wide receiver is projected to go in the first round next year's draft. So we're doing decent right now.
Yeah, you beat my Sooners.
Yes, that
Beat
was
them in the
Alamo
bowl
Bowl. That was a
game.
fun game.
And Sooners, welcome to the SEC, baby.
Ooh, that's
Gonna be a rude welcoming.
Granted, when we beat in the Alamo Bowl, 20 guys were like, "I'm transferring." Because that's the problem now. Because before major games, if you're not in a national championship position, there's going to be a half of your team is going to say, "I'm going to go to a different school."
That may be different now with this new format. It may be different
Possibly.
now with 12 teams getting in.
What the heck was that?
They're doing some excavating.
Of
over there.
course.
It's just
every time, every morning at this time, folks, our building shakes like an earthquake, and they're
doing some blasting.
Which of course is bringing up all the rats, which we get to see when we come in the morning.
Speaking of football,
yes,
looks like former Sooner coach Bob Stoops says that current Volunteers coach Josh Heupel is likely going to get a hero's welcome whenever the Vols travel to Norman on September 21st.
Really?
Josh Heupel is a Sooner legend.
Oh,
he is the last Sooner quarterback to bring Sooner Nation a national title. He's beloved.
2000, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
He is beloved in Oklahoma, and I guarantee you, when he comes out on the field, man, that stadium's going to go nuts. Then after that, they're going to hate his guts.
Very true.
Because they very likely might upset my Sooners.
They might.
I shouldn't say upset. I don't know if it'll be an upset.
Tennessee is one of those bipolar teams, I like to say, because they will get your hopes up. Sometimes at the beginning of the year, there's just going to be one game where they just let you down.
Well, Tennessee, I think, made the worst decision whenever they got rid of Coach Fulmer, because he had, one bad season?
That's how it is in those programs, man.
It is, but I'm telling you, ever since they jettisoned him, they have not been the same team.
Hey, they were ranked number 1 for a week and some change a year or two ago.
Well, I mean, when was their last national title?
It was with Manning in 1998, 1997.
Yeah, it's been a while.
But it was a co-national title. Michigan also won the national title. But it was before they had a consensus, a straight up consensus. It was AP poll and coaches poll. Whoever the two number ones, those were the national champions.
I think Heupel can get them a national title. I think he can do it. I mean, he's recruiting well. With the 12-team playoff, I don't know how that's going to play out. In the SEC, it's all about the line of scrimmage, man. You got to get those big boys up front on both sides of the ball. That's how Michigan finally broke the SEC lock on winning the national title. They finally got that offensive and defensive line that can match an Alabama or a Georgia. And look what they did to Washington. I mean, they just kind of played around with Washington like a cat does a ball of yarn. And it's because of them big 300, 400-pound hogs that can run a 40 in 4.3. Even though they're that big.
Very true.
I think some of these guys are genetically altered. There's some absolute freak athletes in our time.
Hey,
sure.
there's just some freaks in our time, just period. Changing the subject a little bit, guys. This story really broke my heart. But his name is Alexander Morris. I don't know if you guys know him. Jeff won't.
Alexander Morris.
Ken might. Yeah, Alexander Morris was actually a celebrity at one time.
Okay.
But he has filed a lawsuit against a hospital in Michigan on June 10th. It was an incident that took place last year. According to NBC News, they reported that Morris, who is the lead singer of the Motown group, the Four Tops, went to the hospital with clear symptoms of cardiac distress. This was in April of 2023. While there, Morris told nurses and security staff that he was concerned about stalkers and fans. But when he said this, they didn't believe him. They didn't believe he was part of the Four Tops and ordered a psychological examination, which delayed his treatment. He was physically restrained for at least 11 and a half hours.
Oh.
Or no, 1.5 hours. I'm sorry.
No.
1.5 hours. But still, 1.5 hours, that's ridiculous. He said it was a terrifying experience to be in the middle of a medical emergency. He said the suit at his $75,000 in damages alleges negligence, racial discrimination, battery, and intentional infliction of emotional distress. His ordeal finally ended when he showed a nurse a video of him performing. He had to show a video
my word.
performing at the Grammys. And this is what the hospital offered him as an apology. What do you think they offered him?
A cup of ice?
Close.
One of those happy stickers you get after your doctor's appointment when you get a boo-boo?
A little better than that there, Jeff. He was offered a $25 gift card to a grocery store.
Goodness.
Not even Chili's.
Which he declined, of course, which I don't blame him.
Wow.
The hospital, of course, has no comment on this visit.
Yeah.
And as he said, I never imagined I would become a victim of being sick while black. And I'm with him on this one. Wow. I hope he wins. I hope he wins. Can you imagine you're having heart issues and they think you're lying to them and they restrain you?
Goodness gracious.
Good.
That's absurd. One quick thing. I was incorrect about my Tennessee Vols. They did win the title in 1998, but it wasn't Peyton Manning. It was the year after he left. It was T. Martin. That was their quarterback. But I was off by 1 year. I just had to make a correction.
You were just off by one. But one thing we can get you there, Jeff Melanoff, is Samsung. They've got something new, and this sounds really cool. It's a new tech release. It's called the Shortcut Sneaker. And what makes this really cool, if you ever watch Get Smart, you can make phone calls on this sneaker. And Samsung's putting it out. The only problem is they're just making 6 pair.
Wait, I remember back in the day, Shaq had a phone on his, had a phone shoe back in the day. It had an antenna and everything in his shoe.
Who?
Shaquille O'Neal.
Oh, yeah?
He had one back in the 2000s when he was just spinning on the stupidest things ever. And so they're making another phone. They're making a phone shoe. They're bringing that back. They're bringing that trend back.
Oh, yeah. I guess they are. But they're only making 6. So, and it's only available, by the way, to members in the Netherlands.
So you have to take off your stinky shoe to answer a phone call. I don't get it.
My shoes don't stink. 5:52. We got what?
Neither does Biden's.
We got news coming up at the top of the hour. Kim Weaver, what's in the news?
Got a shooting investigation. A bullet came through a man's window while he was driving down the road. And you got to hear this one Tennessee delegate to the Democratic National Convention coming up at 6 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Dan Mandis here, talking about my friends at the Glock store, and I'm always asked the question, why do I like the Glock store so much? And really, that's simple. When I first visited their massive facility, I knew that I wanted to buy my first gun right then and there at the Glock store. You see, I was a customer first and then an endorser. Then I started my training, and I was so impressed that, yes, I incorporated that into my commercials. And all of those upgrades that I talk about, that I did to my Glock, the pyramid trigger, the tungsten guide rod, and the red dot optic, I paid for those as well. Now, I did get a bit of a discount, but honestly, not much more than you would get during the incredible Glock store weekly sales, like Top Shot Tuesday or Firearm Friday. So, no, I'm not a Glock store fan because they pay me to talk about them. No, Glock store pays me to talk about them because I'm a big Glock store fan. There's the difference, and it's a big one. The Glock store, mere minutes from the airport and worth the drive from anywhere. Check them out online, glockstore.com.
6 o'clock on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. And Melanie Layden says we are headed for the hottest days of the year so far. Full forecast and traffic coming up in 5 minutes. Right now in Nashville, got a shooting investigation. Channel 4 says a bullet went through a man's window as he was driving on Hamilton Church Pike this morning just after 1 o'clock. Hit him in the head. Drove himself to a fire station for help and was rushed to a hospital with what are described as serious injuries. There's no word on a suspect. Election 2024. Here's one Tennessee delegate to the Democratic National Convention who says he knows who he is voting for.
Even if he died, I would probably still vote for Joe Biden. I would vote for a dead man before I would vote for Donald J. Trump.
That is Nashville State Rep Vincent Dixie telling News 2 about his support for Biden. But Stephen Portnoy says the support is not the same in D.C. or Hollywood.
Donors are increasingly skittish as a major one. George Clooney writes in the New York Times that he doesn't see Democrats winning with Biden at the top of the ticket. Senior members of the Congressional Black Caucus say they're sticking with the president, but more junior members like Cori Bush of Missouri are less emphatic when asked if Biden can beat Trump.
Yeah, I can't speak to that. I mean, it's up to the president.
Sources say top House Democrat Hakeem Jeffries has pledged to bring members' concerns directly to Biden.
Now, Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer says he's doing the same there in the Senate. Meanwhile, it's all ears and eyes on Biden this afternoon when the president gives a solo news conference to wrap up NATO. This will be his first news conference in 8 months. It's set for 4:30 Middle Tennessee time. Paid leave for everyone. Activists yesterday delivered a petition with more than 55,000 signatures to Congress demanding legislation that would force employers nationwide to make paid time off available for family or medical reasons. The petition, organized by advocacy groups Paid Leave for All and Moms Rising, aims to create a permanent national paid leave program. And Market Numbers Report brought to you by Beacon Capital Management, online at beaconcm.com. Here's Jim Ryan.
Comments to Congress from the head of the Fed could signal an interest rate cut soon. Some experts see Jerome Powell's remarks yesterday as an indicator the Fed could be ready to start cutting interest rates as early as September. Powell's words were enough to move the markets Wednesday. The Dow Jones gained 429 points and finished the session at 39,721. The Standard & Poor's 500 added 1%. The Nasdaq rose 1.2%. Both of those indexes closing at new record highs. Citigroup has been hit with nearly $136 million in fines from a pair of federal regulators. They say the bank has not made enough progress in complying with a 2020 order to fix risk and control issues. The second storm of the 2024 Atlantic hurricane season has gasped its last breath this morning. One estimate suggests that Beryl racked up $28 to $32 billion in extended power outages and travel and business disruptions in the U.S. alone.
All right, Dow futures are down 46, S&P down 6, NASDAQ down 18. That's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
Good morning, 6:07, Thursday on Nashville's Morning News, WTN. Glad to have you with us on 99.7. Dan Mandis is on vacation, of course. He is going to return on Monday. We look forward to his return. You also have Jeff Malinoff in my place, Ken Weaver in the newsroom, and you with 615-737-9986. That's the Members Nutrition Super Text line. We'll check a few of those out a little bit later on. You can also check us out on Super Talk TV. You can catch that on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and 997WTN.com. And you can also listen to the big show on your apps, including ours, or you can also hit the radio at 99.7 FM, which if you're listening, you already have. Why did I say that? 6:08, Johnny B with you, and so happy to be here amongst you. Of course, today is the big boy press conference day, and we're looking forward to hearing what the president has to say and what transpires today. Feels like we're going through Groundhog Day. It's what it's felt like to me all week, because you wake up and it's the same story. Is Joe going to go or is Joe going to stay? And you have people on all sides of the the Democrats are in a virtual civil war right now. Actually, the Democrats and the Biden family. Because you have Nancy Pelosi, who on CNN this morning was saying that Joe's got to make a decision and make it soon. Joe already has made his decision. This isn't Joe's indecision. This is the party. The party wants Joe to step down. Somebody in the party, somebody powerful, has said something and has basically mobilized Hollywood, because you have George Clooney and you also have Michael Douglas, who gave, these big fundraisers for Joe Biden just a few weeks ago, and now they are saying that he needs to step down. So somebody, one of the puppet masters is saying, okay, this has gone far enough, we need to replace him. But the Bidens are hanging in, and I'm guaranteeing you a lot of it is Hunter and Jill. The Bidens don't want to lose this gravy train, and it's just going to be interesting to watch. Another interesting thing to watch, and this is something that I wish would get pushed through, but it's not, because it's getting mired down once again by the Democrats, putting MAGA and racism around this. But it's the SAVE Act. It's the Safeguard American Voter Eligibility Act. And what this does, it seeks to amend the National Voter Registration Act by requiring states to obtain proof of citizenship for individuals voting in federal elections. This is why I've always known the Democrats are for voter fraud, because they fight this at every step of the way. They always say black folks can't vote because they don't have driver's licenses. What a racist statement. That's a ridiculous statement. And to say that you can't have proof, you should show proof. Voting is so important and is one of our greatest rights, and it should be protected. It should be very, very protected. But the Democrats aren't for it. The bill was passed by House Republicans along with, I think it was 5 Democrats. It now heads to the Senate, where it's likely going to be ignored by the Democrat majority, because they've been very vocal in their statements of that they're not going to let it pass. And once again, they announced that it's racism. And in fact, Hakeem Jeffries once again had to put it on Donald Trump. This is what he had to say yesterday.
To investigate claims of...
Well, wait a minute. That's not him.
I was about to say, whoa.
Wow, what happened to his voice?
So you just have that horse in your throat sometimes.
Anyway, this is what Hakeem had to say.
Only citizens can vote for the United States Senate. Only citizens can vote for the presidency of the United States. So this extreme MAGA Republican voter suppression bill is not designed to solve any problem on behalf of the American people. It is designed to jam people up.
Right.
And prevent Americans from voting.
No, it's not.
How is that possible?
No, it's not. Well, it's once again he's using the typical Democrat word salad to basically say that this is suppressing votes.
Fear mongering.
Yeah, that's all it is. It's fear mongering. It's not suppressing votes. What it's trying to do is make votes where they count and make sure that no one that's in here illegally, which there is a large number now, don't vote. And for him to say only citizens can vote, bull. It's been so long now that we've had people vote. We've had illegals voting in this country for a long time. And if you don't think it's happening, you're blind. You need to really wake up because it's been happening. It's been happening as long as I've been in talk radio, and I've been in talk radio for over 20 years now. And I've watched it happen, and I've watched politicians absolutely do nothing about it. More Democrats have spoken out about this bill, and in fact, Illinois Representative Delia Ramirez, she called the requirement discriminatory. And this is what she had to say yesterday about the bill.
To investigate claims of voter fraud by non-citizens was disbanded without identifying one single case. If we believe in the power of democracy, we should reject discriminatory rules rooted in fear and division and instead increase protections and expand access. This bill, they call it the SAVE Act. It should be called the Don't Let Americans Act. Don't Let Americans Vote Act. And so I rise here opposing and asking my colleagues to vote no on this bill.
It is not.
She tried to have a clever way of saying it.
Yeah,
and
she
fumbled.
did.
Did you see that?
And then she blew it at the end. But the Democrats have always argued this, and they're wrong. And for those of you that are buying into this nonsense, you need to wake up because we're in serious trouble in this country. And in the past, Democrats, of course, have argued that voter identification laws are racist. They are not racist. Every country in the world they've got to know who you are. That's the only way you have a decent election, a fair election. But it's not just elections. The illegal immigration in this country is really out of control, and it's starting to really show all across the country. And we'll give you some examples. But we got to check the roads first. At 6:15, let's check the roads on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Thank you, Jack. Looks like it's going to be partly sunny today. High of 92, still not bad. But starting tomorrow, throughout the weekend, and on Monday, we hit 100. The temperatures are going to be really high. So make sure you take precautions if you have any health concerns. It's 67 degrees right now on Nashville's Music Row at Super Talk 99.7 WTN. The Super Talk continues all day, and you don't want to go anywhere because at 9 a.m., it's the Chris Hands Show at 12 noon. Des Dickerson will be sitting in for our buddy Matt Murphy on Murphy's Show, and then drive home. On the drive, Brian Wilson's off. You got my buddy Matt Murphy. He will be driving you home on Super Talk 99.7 WTN, fueled by homemade pickles. Anyway, we're glad to have you with us. And the Biden administration, this administration, we have watched a lot of political and a lot of presidential administrations really deal with illegal immigration in a very clumsy and nonchalant way. But a record number of illegal immigrants from, make sure I can pronounce this correctly, Tajikistan. Well, apparently they've been released by Border Patrol so far this year. despite the fact that the nation is a recruitment hotbed for the Islamic State. Last month, it was revealed that a group of 8 suspected terrorists arrested in cities across the U.S. had illegally crossed the border and been released this year, but only after hundreds of them had been allowed into the country as the Biden administration decided to take action and prevent potential terrorists from carrying out attacks on American soil. In recent weeks, they say immigration and customs enforcement officers have received orders to hold their illegal immigrants from Tajikistan and only release them after they've been properly interviewed by intelligence officials. The New York Post reported that between 2020 2024, just over 1,500 people from Tajikistan attempted to enter the U.S. illegally. In the first 6 months of this year, they said 500 have been apprehended at the border. But the crime doesn't stop, and neither does the insanity. In fact, residents of a town in Ohio, Springfield, Ohio, they're demanding that their city council do something to stem the tide of the Haitian immigrants that have flooded the city, especially in the aftermath of the death of a child in a school bus accident that was caused by a migrant driving illegally. And when they say migrant, it's an illegal immigrant. And this problem is just, it's been going on so long, it's driving me crazy. And in fact, just this morning, 6/19, 2,014 new illegal immigrants have crossed over into our country. But this town in Ohio, these residents, you can understand their frustration. They're just west of Columbus, Ohio, and they've been the target of Haitian immigrants for at least since 2014. And in the ensuing years, they say some 10,000 have moved to the Rust Belt town in the last 4 years alone. The population has ballooned to more than 20,000 Haitians. The influx is causing serious pressure to mount on the town. And in fact, J.D. Vance, the senator from Ohio, puts the blame for the mounting problem squarely on the Biden administration, which is causing the small towns all across the country to suffer, just like Springfield. For a few years, longtime residents said they were unbothered by the growing Haitian community. Over time, though, clashes have begun to occur as Haitians have become more obtrusive by driving illegally, piling into apartments and homes by the dozen, filling local schools with children who need special care and education and language services, and increasingly becoming a focus for government spending. And that's the problem with illegal immigration. It's not just the crime. It's not everything that we've just labeled. As I've said nauseingly and too much, but every part of our problems in our country right now, you can at least have one vessel going back to illegal immigration. Illegal immigration is hurting our economy. Illegal immigration is hurting our workforce because people are not making the money they used to because illegal immigration has brought that down. Illegal immigration has caused problems with our health care. We can't afford this. America can't afford this. And that's why it's so important that the SAVE Act passed, but it's not going to because the Democrats don't want it to, because the Democrats want votes. Because they know in the past 3 years that basically the curtain has been unveiled. Now we see how much they have lied to us. Now the Democrats can see, and especially their voters, that their programs don't work. That everything they're trying to do is not working. It's hurting our government. And that's why I would encourage you to call every congressman, every senator, every politician you can to tell them they have to fix our elections. They have to fix the voter rolls. They have to pass this SAVE Act, We've got to do something, or this country's in serious trouble. We've got to turn it around. It's 6:22. We got news coming up at the bottom of the hour at 6:30 with my buddy Ken Weaver. Ken, what's happening?
A bullet right through the windshield. New polling now that Hollywood seems to want President Biden to step aside, and new restrictions on legal ways to get high in Tennessee could draw lawsuits. Coming up at 6:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. 6:30 on the dot this Thursday morning. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Melanie Layden says we are headed for the hottest days of the year so far in Middle Tennessee. Full forecast and traffic in 5 minutes. Right now in Nashville, Channel 4's Joylyn Bukovac covering a shooting. The victim was driving along Hamilton Church Pike when a bullet came through the windshield and hit him in the head around 1 o'clock this morning.
He is in the hospital right now with serious injuries, but he is expected to survive. And right now, Metro Police are trying to find the gunman responsible for shooting that man in the head while driving down the street here. He did manage to drive himself to this fire station right here in Antioch. This is Fire Station 33, and he got help here.
Election 2024, this Tennessee delegate to the Democratic National Convention telling News 2 he will probably vote for President Biden even if he dies.
I think he's still the best person for this job of the two candidates in this race. He has my full support. I'm still riding with Biden.
That's Nashville State Rep Vincent Dixie. Meanwhile, Jim Ryan has new poll results on the issue of whether the president should step down.
Names of potential replacements as the party's nominee are being tossed around, but the new ABC News Washington Post Ipsos polls suggest that Vice President Kamala Harris is preferred among voters over President Biden. The same data shows her with a 3% lead over Donald Trump if the election were held today.
All ears and eyes will be on President Biden's solo news conference scheduled for 4:30 Middle Tennessee time this afternoon. Tennessee hemp growers say they're going to sue the state if a new rule is established impacting the sale of legal THC products.
Create all this revenue for the state, and now they want to take it away. It makes zero sense.
The rule by the State Department of Agriculture could ban hemp flowers, which can exceed legal THC limits if smoked. No word on when the rule might go into effect, or if it will. That's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
Dan Mandis here on vacation, but wanted to remind you about my friends at Brentwood Jewelry. Great American company that can help you if you've got an event coming up that requires a gift. Maybe it's a birthday, maybe it's an anniversary, maybe somebody you love is getting ready to graduate. But Brentwood Jewelry is the place to get whatever you need. Now, this is the place where Amy and I buy all of our jewelry these days. They've got a great selection, great prices as well. Really, any budget is welcome at Brentwood Jewelry. The occasion doesn't matter. You need something for dad? They've got incredible watches and cufflinks. You need something for mom? They've got earrings, they've got rings, they've got necklaces and bracelets, incredible styles and selection for any budget. Located in the heart of Brentwood, 7012 Church Street East, just off Franklin Road. Tell them Dan Mandis told you to reach out. Exceptional style, exceptional deals every day for over 50 years. Shop in store or online, BrentwoodJewelry.com. That's BrentwoodJewelry.com.
Oh, yeah. Be sure and cue the global warming freaks because they're going to start coming out this week, and they always do.
It's summertime, brother Johnny B.
Exactly. That's always my answer to them. It's so hot. Yeah, it's called July.
Triple-digit heat indices.
Get ready because they're going to come out and say oceans are boiling. It's 6:37. Good morning. You're listening to Nashville's Morning News. Johnny B sitting in for Dan Mandis. He will return on Monday. We're looking forward to having him back. And you still have me with Ken Weaver and Jeff Melanoff and you. And you can join us, 615-737-9986. That's the Members Nutrition Super Text line. And watch us as well on Big Super Talk TV on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and 997WTN.com. And also listen to us on the radio, of course. And if you have, you can also download some apps, including ours, and you can put it on your phone and listen to us anywhere you are. It'll happen. We were talking about illegal immigration last hour and had a great super text at 13:03. He said, Johnny, remember when Phil Valentine was on Sean Hannity and he said illegals voted then? And Hannity had no idea. And to break in here, it wasn't just Sean Hannity. It was another guy on there as well, a Fox News reporter or column. I forget what he did there. But Peter Johnson. I remember Peter Johnson was just giving Phil down the road that illegals can't vote. Don't say can't so quick. But anyway, when you were talking about the Valentine Bozeman duo, when we were going on the Alaska cruise with WTN, I asked Phil where Johnny B was. Well, actually, it did start out that I was supposed to go on that cruise.
Yeah.
But, and I really can't talk about it, but they took me off of it for some reason.
Didn't you get banned in Alaska?
I think I got banned in Alaska.
Yeah.
I think Sarah Palin thought I was just too good looking.
I think yes, sir. That's what happened.
I was going to ask, what did you do in Alaska? But I guess that answered my question.
No, that wasn't it. But anyway, it's a funny story, but one I can't tell on the air. But anyway,
legally,
I would have loved to have gone on the cruise, but to be honest, I'm not a big cruise person. I don't.
Everybody gets sick.
Well, and I just don't want to spend. I mean, it's nothing against people. People think I dislike people. I don't.
No, you like people, brother Johnny B.
People. I love
just
people.
in this very small quantities.
Well, exactly, and I like a lot of alone time, and especially if I'm on a vacation.
Yeah.
To me, a vacation. If you told me, "Hey, we're going to put you on a big boat or a big ship with about thousands of other people
in tight quarters,"
However, unlimited buffet.
Man, I can find that anywhere.
Yeah.
But cruise buffets vacation buffets hit different than regular buffets, though. Like at hotels
okay, well, how's
and stuff
that?
like that.
How's that?
Yeah.
Explain.
I can't. It's so hard. It's just a feeling you get. So I was in Mexico with my family last year, and we it was like that all inclusive place. Like it was the first time we ever tried this all inclusive, and the buffet I don't know. It just felt better than most. I don't know. The food was good. The food was always good, but just the fact that you can literally just any moment of the day walk up there and just take food and not have to worry about anything. It just makes it taste better. I don't know how to describe it, okay? It's just a feeling of freedom.
I like your description.
It's just freeing.
That's actually, but yeah, I like that idea too, brother Jim.
And you don't have to think about work. It's sunny out, it's warm, you're just with people you like.
How many times did you go back and forth?
Oh, God. Probably twice but there are two humongous plates.
Yeah.
Like I don't leave anything. If I see something, I'm taking it. I don't go, I'll grab that later. No, I see it, I'm grabbing it.
Plates or sheet pans?
You're going to survive in this business.
I wish sheet pans.
You're going to survive well in this business for two reasons. One, you're always here on time.
Yep.
That is not
dependable.
That's 97% of being successful in radio. Another one, never turn down free food.
Yeah.
No, sir.
Well, you could thank my dad on the first one because I first started working for him, and he was there before I was late. No matter what time I was supposed to be there, I got to be there before my dad.
Yeah, that's a problem. That is a problem.
Yes, it is. And we were talking about voting, too. I want to read some of these super texts, but at 8602, he breaks in and says, our Constitution only allows for American citizens to vote. All Republicans have to do is enforce the law and throw out their votes.
That's hateful.
Yeah.
That's hate.
Man, that's racism. That's racism, sir. That's what the Democrats would say. But he's right. He's right.
Well, that's what Republicans are trying to do with this this legislation in the House that they passed.
But if you
it's not going anywhere in the Senate.
No, and the Democrats are going to paint it in the same, which we played some sound earlier this hour, where they were saying, oh, it's just trying to keep Americans from voting.
Yeah.
No, it's not. And it has nothing to do with Americans. It has to do with illegal immigrants that have flooded into this country. And, It drives me crazy. There's a lot going on in the news. I would like to give you some good news to chew on because we hear so. I'm kind of overdosing on is Biden going to stay or not? And I'm overdosing on the big boy press conference. I know we got to cover it. I know we got to hear it. But let's hear something that's a little more positive, shall we?
Let's do it, Brother Johnny B.
This happened in Mooresville, Indiana. This is some good news out of there. This comes from our own Channel 2, WKRN.
All right.
A child from that town has been reported safe. He's been found safe. He's been missing since 2022. According to the police department there, authorities found the young man, his name is Stephen Bryan, at a home in Bloomington, roughly 35 miles away. Found him on Tuesday.
After 2 years.
After 2 years, he was taken when he was 3 years old.
Wow.
And he was taken by a gentleman named Caleb Blevins, who was at that time 30 years old. He was the boyfriend to the young boy's mother. And Stephen Bryan, he's, of course, the young man that was taken, his father reported his son missing in July of 2022, it says. Anyway, Indiana State Police said at the time they were believed to be with Bryan's mother, Deborah Bryan. And, of course, they say she was reportedly in a relationship with Blevins. And eventually said officials with the Mooresville Police Department issued a warrant for Deborah Bryan's arrest, charging her with interference with custody. And then on Tuesday, police said while using surveillance, the department was contacted about 3 individuals, later identified as the boyfriend, the mother, and the young child at this Bloomington home. After a search warrant was conducted, officials were able to find all 3 at the home. Deborah Bryan was taken into custody on her outstanding warrant of interference with custody. Mooresville police said they believe Blevins was going to be taken into custody for assisting her. So this says that they say that the boy is back home and everything is good. So they said,
are they hiding him?
Well, apparently the mother was not supposed to have custody at all.
Okay.
And apparently the boyfriend took the boy.
Okay.
And
hit him.
Yeah, and hit him.
Wow. 2 years.
But they found him, and that's good news. And I love hearing good news. And I thought we needed something positive, and so I'll give you that to chew on today. It's 6:45. It's time to check the roads on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Thank you, Jack. Looks like a great day. Partly sunny, high of 92. Enjoy it while we got it, though, because starting tomorrow, we get back into the heat. It's going to be in the mid to upper 90s all throughout till finally on Monday, we hit the big 100.
Let's hope T-Dot gets out there and treats those roads.
Yeah. In fact, I think, Ken, we may have to
Might have to stay home, get a hotel room, Brother Johnny.
Yeah, we may have to, Ken.
With a buffet.
Brother Jeff, you're going to fit right in.
Yes,
dude.
you are. You're already part of the family, brother.
Appreciate it.
Already thinking about free food. I love it. 6:47. If you need to get anywhere by 7, you're in trouble. But anyway, Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, guess what she's done? She's introduced articles of impeachment against conservative U.S. Supreme Court Justices Clarence Thomas and Samuel Alito. According to her, she says that both justices, their pattern of refusal to recuse from consequential matters before the court in which they hold widely documented financial and personal entanglements constitute a grave threat to the American rule of law, the integrity of our democracy, and one of the clearest cases for which the tool of impeachment was designed. This is what she said in a statement about our article. She said, the unchecked corruption crisis in the Supreme Court has now spiraled into a constitutional crisis, threatening America's democracy writ large. The Congresswoman said in her statement that her articles of impeachment against Thomas include him, that they accuse him of failure to disclose financial income, gifts and reimbursements, property interests, liabilities and transactions, among other information, also a refusal to recuse from matters concerning his spouse's legal interest in cases before the court, and also refusal to recuse from matters involving his spouse's financial interest in cases before the court. And, of course, when it comes to Alito, she accuses him of refusal to recuse from cases which he had a personal bias or prejudice concerning a party in cases before the court. Boy, this is very legalese. Or failed to disclose financial income, gifts and reimbursements, property interests, liabilities, and transactions, among other information. She also noted that she and Representative Jamie Raskin, Democrat, of course, from Maryland, hosted an oversight roundtable on June 11th to discuss corruption on the court, and said that on June 20th, they wrote a letter to Chief Justice John Roberts to ask what immediate action he would take to restore public trust in the court amidst several ethical conflicts. Lawmakers also on June 25th introduced legislation called the High Court Gift Ban Act, which prohibits Supreme Court justices from receiving gifts valued at more than $50, bringing them in line with lawmakers and other federal officials. I have no problem with that. Her action also comes after Senators Sheldon Whitehouse, Democrat from Rhode Island, and Ron Wyden, Democrat from Oregon, called on U.S. Attorney General Merrick Garland, boy, there's a stand-up guy, to appoint a special counsel to investigate whether Thomas broke federal ethics and tax laws. I don't know, but if I were Justice Thomas, I'd be very tempted to cry out racism. I really would.
I don't think it's going to go past, though. It's not.
I don't either.
I think Republicans will obviously block this.
Oh, sure they will. But if I were Clarence Thomas, why not? Why not play the game? Why not? I'm tired of anybody on the right never defending themselves, never saying anything. So, the left uses it constantly. Why can't we? So why can't Justice Thomas use that? It's racism. It's wrong. Also, you may want to get ready and, get everything ready for a big wedding. Yeah, that's right. We've got the power couple, the new power couple. Have you heard who's gotten engaged? Oh, yeah. Huma Abedin and Alex Soros, George Soros' son. They are now engaged, and they'll be your new Democrat power couple, and we'll hear so much more about them in the news. Get ready. We've got a lot more to cover. It's coming up at 7:05. Be sure and be here for that. Plus, we've got news coming up at 7 o'clock with Ken Weaver. Ken, what's coming up?
Well, it looks like we've got some new polling on whether or not President Biden should step aside in the 2024 presidential race. Had a bullet go through a man's windshield this morning in Nashville. Also, here in Tennessee, legal ways to get high could be limited further. That could draw some lawsuits. We'll tell you about it at 7 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Hey, it's Dan Mandison. How much do you know about your homeowner's insurance? For example, do you know what's going to happen if your roof is destroyed in a storm? How much of that replacement cost would your insurance company cover? Now, if you don't know, you really do need to make a phone call today to your current insurance company, because some insurance companies, maybe yours, refuse to pay full replacement cost. They're going to deduct money for an older roof, and this means that the insurance company is going to depreciate how much they pay for your roof claim. That's going to leave you on the hook for thousands of dollars. Now, again, you've got to call your insurance company to find out, and then call my friends at King & Associates Insurance. They will pay full replacement cost. So whether you have to replace a 10-year-old roof or a 2-year-old roof, they pay for it to be replaced, period. It is that kind of focus on customer service that makes King & Associates Insurance one of the best insurance companies around, and I'm proud to endorse King & Associates Insurance. 615-329-8121. Get your royal review at tkinginsurance.com.
7 o'clock on the dot this Thursday morning. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories tracking the return of high heat and humidity in the full forecast and traffic in 5 minutes. Right now in Nashville, got a shooting investigation. Channel 4 says a bullet went through a man's windshield as he was driving on Hamilton Church Pike this morning around 1 o'clock. Hit him in the head. He was able to drive himself to a fire station for help and was rushed to a hospital with serious injuries. No word on a suspect. Election 2024, at least one Tennessee delegate to the Democratic Convention knows who he's voting for.
Even if he died, I would probably still vote for Joe Biden. I would vote for a dead man before I would vote for Donald J. Trump.
That is Nashville State Rep Vincent Dixie on News 2. Meanwhile, Stephen Portnoy has new polling results on the issue of whether President Biden should drop out of the 2024 race.
2 weeks since the debate, the ABC News Washington Post Ipsos poll finds 2/3 of Americans believe the president should drop out. That even as the same poll shows the race is still effectively tied nationally with a 1-point edge for Donald Trump. 85% in the survey say Joe Biden is too old for a second term. Most Americans say the same about Trump, but Biden is ahead on that score by 25 points. And 54% of his own supporters now say he should step aside.
Yeah, this poll was conducted online in English and Spanish among a random national sample of about 2,431 adults. All ears and eyes on President Biden's first solo news conference in 8 months. That's scheduled for 4:30 Middle Tennessee time today. Here in Tennessee, legal ways to get high could be limited further under proposed new rules from the State Department of Agriculture. It would make hemp flowers illegal because they exceed legal THC limits when smoked. Tennessee hemp growers say they're going to sue the state if that new rule takes effect. And right now in Rutherford County, a big new amphitheater project has been scrapped in the city of Murfreesboro. WTN's Jay Harper says officials say Notes Live did not meet the conditions agreed to back in 2022.
The new live entertainment campus was to be built on more than 20 acres at the southeast corner of Medical Center Parkway and Gateway Boulevard. News 2 reports that Mayor Shane McFarland said although they are not moving forward with this project, the city council had already approved plans for $26 million of infrastructure improvements to Medical Center Parkway. The city is taking steps to get the property back based on the conditions set forth in the original agreement.
Market numbers report. Market numbers brought to you by Beacon Capital Management. Online at beaconcm.com. Dow futures are down 62. S&P is down 7. NASDAQ is down 11. That's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
7:07, good morning. It is Thursday morning on Nashville's Morning News. Dan Mandis will return on Monday. He's on vacation. Johnny B sitting in for Dan, along with Ken Weaver in the newsroom, Jeff Malinoff in my place guiding the ship. And, of course, you on 615-737-9986. That's the Members Nutrition Super Text line. That's also the number you can call to talk with us live as well. And you can watch the radio show on Super Talk TV, which is up and running. And you can catch it on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and 997WTN.com. Of course, you got the radio, and you also have those cool apps, including ours. You can download them on your phone, and you can listen to us anywhere you are. Just keep us with you all the time. Why not? It's 7:07. I just said that. Anyway, we're looking forward to the big day today because this is the big boy press conference. This is going to be the big one. Joe Biden, I haven't heard what time the press conference is. I'll try to check up on that for you guys. Sometimes you super texters beat us to the punch, and if you want to beat me to the punch.
It's whenever Joe wakes up from his nap.
That's right, whenever I feel like it. Where's the mic? Anyway, I just walk. Okay. Oh, did you hear? He did it again. Oh,
walk.
Let me find this story. I haven't gotten it ready. I hope I can find it.
Well, he read the words in parentheses?
Yes.
Or in italics?
Yes. Again.
Smile.
Yes.
Blink.
Breathe.
Yeah, here it is.
Turn left.
Oh, gosh.
Wait, I need to hear this. Hold on. We got to.
This happened at the NATO speech to world leaders. Biden avoided a near disastrous slip-up, they said. What happened? During the welcome speech to NATO leaders on Tuesday, as the eyes of the world watched him, he was supposed to present the Presidential Medal of Freedom to NATO Secretary General, and I can't pronounce his name right now, so don't worry about it.
Stoltenberg.
Thank you. And was saved by utter embarrassment by audience applause. So audience applause saved him. And what happened was Biden's reading his speech, and then he goes, "That's the military aid." He said that while preparing to award.
Wait. He said that's the military aid?
No, he said ask the military. Because that was instructions on his speech. And that's what he asked the military aid.
I honestly feel bad for the guy. Just a little.
I do. Part of me does.
Because someone is pushing him to do this, and that's wrong.
Well, yeah, it's very.
Well, we know who's. I feel like we know who's pushing him, but the fact that he should just sit in a home somewhere, just where someone can take care of him, because there's something. It's just so obvious, and it's sad. It's honestly people say it's elder abuse.
Well, it truly is, but I feel sorrier for him if he wasn't such a sorry individual himself and his
also,
family.
On our Members Nutrition chat line, Jeff Harrison says 4:30 p.m. is the scheduled time for the Big Boy press conference.
Oh, it's the Big Boy press conference.
The Big Boy press conference. Brought to you by the Big Boy.
So are those even around anymore? I think those
will
are
actually
gone.
Look, because when I hear Big Boy, I immediately think of that. I'll look if they're
because that used to be Shoney's, wasn't it? Shoney's Big Boy. Yeah, I think those are long gone.
Talking about those hamburger joints,
Big
that had
Boy
the big
restaurants,
fat family out in
and the
front.
Big Boy, yeah.
I don't see it gone. I'll check what the locations are, though.
Because it's pressing. We all want to know.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure the audience is desperate to know.
Okay, I'm sorry. When you hear Big Boy, do you not immediately think of the restaurant/burger?
Yeah, I do. I have to admit.
I'd eat any place that said Big Boy Burgers.
I would eat any place that said burgers.
Today, 8 Big Boys are around, with most on static display in museums across the United States.
So they are basically
gone.
Gone. Yeah, I thought they were.
Yeah, that's too bad.
Well, guess what else?
Oh, wait. Thank you, Google. It was about the Union Pacific Big Boy trains, not the restaurants. Google! Come on.
That ranks right up there with Mac Morey looking for if birds were real or not. Hey, if you guys, well, you may have lost Big Boy. Guess what else you're going to lose?
What's that?
New York is rolling out small shampoo bottle bans.
What?
Yeah. You know how you go in these hotels and they have, of course.
Oh, yeah. Got little bottles of shampoo and hand cream, stuff like that.
Well, New York State is now mandating that hotels forgo these small bottles containing hospitality care products such as shampoo and lotions. The enforcement comes as a bill that was passed in the New York Assembly in hopes of its reducing waste. They say beginning on January 1st of 2025, hotels with more than 50 rooms will not be able to provide toiletry bottles under 12 ounces.
Now they'll just have somebody in the bathroom who'll say, hold your hand out.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't doubt it.
Give me your hand.
I would, too. I've also noticed that hotels have gotten very stingy with towels lately. Have you noticed that?
No.
Oh, they have.
Well, I had lots of towels in my last hotel room.
You did?
Ooh, lots.
Man.
Big ones, little ones.
I need to get with your agent. They say the act, which was first introduced in 2019. You like that, didn't you, Ken?
I like that.
Oh, what happened? I hate when this happens. Yeah, okay, here we go. The act, which was first introduced in 2019, defines hospitality personal care products, of course, as we said. We said that already. Gosh. Anyway, the law says that hotels that break the restriction will first receive a warning with 30 days to correct the violation. If the hotel fails to do so, they will be liable to the state for a civil penalty of $250. So what happens in New York and California usually comes our way as well.
Yeah.
So get ready.
Man, I like those little bottles of shampoo.
Well, heck yeah.
I take them home, and I use them whenever we run out.
I do the same, and that way, too, you don't have to pack up a bunch of toiletry products to take into a hotel room.
Right.
It's convenience.
It is.
So, yeah, this is what the left does. See, the left claims that they want to stay out of your life, that they want to protect your democracy.
Right.
But look what they've been doing for the past 3.5 years. They're trying to get rid of everything. They're trying to get rid of the gas-powered car. They're trying to force you into an electric car. They're trying to force you. Oh, now they're wanting to do it with your appliances, with your refrigerators and your dishwashers, and they even want to go as far as tell you how to load your dishwasher, how to load your refrigerator. I mean, this is what the Democrats do. They are constant liars, and that's why more young people are jumping to the Republican Party. There's a story about that. I've got that next. It's 7:15. Time to check the roads with Brother Jeff Womack on Super Talk 99.7. Thank you, Jack. And Jack, my apologies. I was looking at Jeff Malinoff, and I called you Jeff. So I apologize about that. Thank you, Jack.
Unbelievable.
I know. I've been shanking everything. See, this is my Dan Mandis day.
Womack's going to barge in here and just...
Well, I'm shanking, and I'm sorry. It's partly sunny today as our weather forecast with a high of 92. And then we're going to really heat up in the next couple of days, folks. So get ready. By Monday, Ken Weaver, we're going to be in at 100.
Yes, sir.
We gotta have to wear our swim shorts and Speedos out here because it's gonna be so hot. Little callback.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah, Johnny wasn't here. I forgot.
I wasn't here. I don't know what the hell you're talking about, and I'm really afraid to ask. It's, by the way, 71 degrees.
Some brand new underwear.
What now?
We'll tell you about it later, brother.
No, tell me now. We're already into it. Go ahead.
Well, I don't remember the story, but Ken was telling that his neighbor was New Mexico.
Yeah, you wore Speedo
all the time.
Yeah, he'd hose down his driveway in a Speedo. And I'd go out to smoke a cigarette, and he'd wave at me, and I'd go talk to him.
Wearing a Speedo.
Yeah, he was an old fella.
And he
didn't care.
And oh, my gosh.
Man, he was tan, too, boy. I mean, just brown tan.
I always like those people that tan so much that they look
leathery.
Yes.
Look like they got leather for skin.
Exactly.
This dude was like that, only all he wore was a Speedo all summer long. Hosing off his driveway.
That brings up a mental picture I don't even want to see. And especially when you say hosing off his driveway.
Yeah.
I don't know what you mean. Anyway, 718. So with everything that's going on, I was just talking about what the Democrats have been doing as far as taking away a lot of our freedoms, our rights. You know, they're even going into now they're trying to get into our kitchens and make us, I don't know, get certain type of dishwashers and certain types of refrigerators, and then we've got to load them the right way. You may get fined. I mean, this is Democrats. See, they talk out of both sides of their mouth, and really a lot of politicians do, even on the right. So you have to watch them. But the Democrats will sit there and say that they're for the little guy and that they're really trying to help the little guy out, and they'll stay out of your life. And that's the old mean Republicans. They want to get in your life. They want to get in your bedroom, tell you who you can love and whatever. No. I bought that lie a long time ago myself when I was young. And this was during the Carter era, or error, as some people call it. But I remember when Jimmy Carter got in, it was horrible. I mean, you talk about gas lines. You had to get in line for gas. You had to go on certain days. We had a gas shortage. There were all kinds of, oh, man, the interest rate was way up there. Businesses were really hurting. And it seems to be this way every time the Democrats get involved in government. Well, I think a lot of young people are seeing this, and according to this story I found in Newsweek, and I agree with this, they say a lot of young people appear to be flocking to the Republican Party. They say the National Public Opinion Reference Survey, published by Pew Research, has seen significant attention from analysis because it shows that the GOP is leading among those under 30. And I tend to agree with this because I've met a lot of young people, well, Jeff Melanoff, one of them, who they see the difference. And I understand that. If you're a young person and you are changing your alliance, I understand. I was right there. I was the same way. I gave up on the Democrat Party. And really, the Democrat Party never was on our side. They're great at, man, you talk about a party that's great at lying. And I know the Republicans have too. Even though I vote Republican a lot of the time, there are some Republicans that have rubbed me the wrong way. One big disappointment for me was George W. Bush during his second term. He was not what I thought. But anyway, with just 4 months to go until the election, they found out that among all respondents, 47% said they were Republican or leaned Republican, while 46% said they were a Democrat or leaned toward the Democrats. Poll was conducted from February 1st to June 10th among over 5,000 U.S. adults. Analysts were quick to point to the detailed figures regarding party affiliation among young people. They said by subgroup, the headline is age. They said they found the GOP ahead on leaned party ID among 18 to 29-year-olds. Even though the sample was Biden plus 20 on the 2020 recall vote, the sample size is fairly large, and it hasn't shown anything like this in previous cycles. I'm telling you, if everything gets played out like it should, I feel a landslide coming. I really do. Because this has happened in history in the United States. Anytime we've gone through severe economic problems in this country, who's ever in charge at the time usually gets voted out. And I'm praying, I'm really praying that it happens this time. I really do. Because we need a change. We need to get back to what we had with Donald Trump. When he was in office, we were flying. We were soaring. Now, COVID hit and brought that to the ground. But we need a change. And Trump, well, he's offering a lot of things when he gets into office. But there's one person he says he's going to go after when he gets in. And it's kind of surprising in a way. But he said he's going after anyone that, well, interferes with elections. And there's one person that he really wants to go after. I'll tell you who that is at 7:35. 7:23 at 7:30, we have news with Ken Weaver. Ken, what's happening?
Well, we got brand new polling on whether President Biden should drop out of the 2024 race. You got to hear what a Democrat delegate to the National Convention from Tennessee is talking about on that issue. Also, in the American workplace, a new push to force companies to provide paid leave to all companies. And it's soon going to cost more money to get your foot in the door at Costco. We'll tell you about it at 7:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Hey, it's Dan Mandis. How would you like to be able to pay off your car loan, your credit card debt, no personal loans, nothing? My friends at Loan Pronto can make that happen with an Equity Express line of credit. Now, you can tap into that equity in your home today and save you money on those high-interest loans. Yes, homeowners are turning that home equity into cash these days almost instantly with Loan Pronto's AI-based system. It only takes about 10 minutes, and yes, it is really easy as well. There's no documentation, no appraisal, and no hassle, just relief from those high-interest payments. You can get hundreds of thousands of dollars out of your home and use it either to pay off other debts or make those home improvements, and approval is just minutes away. Call them right now to get started, 615-499-5780, 615-499-5780, loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 166-1781, subject to lender approval.
7:30 on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories this Thursday morning. Middle Tennessee is going to head back into triple-digit heat territory. We'll tell you the timeline during the full forecast and traffic in 5 minutes. Right now, we're waiting for the latest read on inflation from the government, expected to show a 0.1% increase month over month and a 3.1% year over year increase. Remember, the Fed wants it to be around 2.5% before cutting interest rates. Election 2024. This Tennessee delegate to the Democratic National Convention is all in for President Biden.
I'm not going to base my decision on one debate. I'm going to base it on everything else he's saying. It will be foolish, quite frankly, because the new person, if they were to choose a new nominee, there's no guarantee they can get on all the ballots they need to get on.
That is Memphis State Senator Ramesh Akbari on News 2. Meanwhile, Jim Ryan has results of a new poll on whether President Biden should drop out of the 2024 race.
The ABC News Washington Post Ipsos poll was conducted in English and Spanish among 2,431 adults. It shows President Biden and former President Donald Trump separated by 1 percentage point where the election held today. But 2/3, including a majority of Biden's backers, believe he should step aside as the Democratic nominee based on his debate performance 2 weeks ago.
All ears and eyes on Biden later today. He's scheduled to give his first solo news conference in 8 months. It's at 4:30 Middle Tennessee time. And in the American workplace, a new push to force companies to provide paid leave to all employees. Here's Andrew Denbert.
Activists yesterday delivered a petition with more than 55,000 signatures to members of Congress, demanding legislation that would allow workers nationwide to take paid time off for family or for medical reasons. The petition, organized by advocacy groups Paid Leave for All and Moms Rising, aims to create a permanent national paid leave program.
Yeah, critics say paid leave requirements will only drive up costs for consumers. Consumers, they say, not companies, are going to pay for paid leave. And it's soon going to cost more money to get your foot in the door at Costco. Retailer raising membership fees by $5 to $65 a year in the U.S. and Canada. Costco's premium executive membership going up by $10 to $130 a year, but those member rewards will go up by another $250. Last year, Costco earned $4.5 billion in revenue from membership fees. That's an 8% increase from 2022. And I teased the June inflation report. It looks like it is in, and it actually ticked down 0.1%. That's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
Hey, it's Dan Mandis for my friends at Window Nation. Now, this is my window company. This is the company that put new windows in my downstairs basement studio. When I get back from vacation, work begins on my upstairs bedroom and my kitchen. Now, this is a great company that can do great work for you. And right now, a great deal. Just for listeners to my show, right now, for every 2 windows that you buy, you're going to get 2 windows free. There's no limit as to how much money you could save. Plus, you can save even more with 0 money down, no interest or payments for 24 months. Window Nation's windows come with a lifetime warranty and they can be installed in a day or less. Don't forget that great deal, the Dan deal. For every 2 windows that you buy, you're going to get 2 windows absolutely free. There's no limit as to how much you can save. You could save even more with 0 money down, no interest or payments for 24 months. Check them out online. It's windownation.com. 866-90-NATION is the phone number. 866-90-NATION, windownation.com.
7:38, it's Nashville's Morning News. Good morning. Johnny B. in for Dan Mandis. He returns on Monday. We're looking forward to his return. I'm with Ken Weaver in the newsroom. Jeff Malinoff is flying the ship, and we've got you. 615-737-9986. You can talk to us on the Members Nutrition Super Text line. You can also watch the radio show live. Yes, Super Talk TV is up and running, and you can watch it on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter. Also, 997WTN.com. And you can also listen to the show on the various apps, including ours. And, of course, the good old trusted radio. Well, today is the big boy press conference. And from what I understand, it's, 4 o'clock this afternoon?
4:30.
We got to make it 4:30.
Yes. And funny enough, people were in the chat, in the nutrition chat, they were saying, Big Boy, it's Bob's Big Boy that I was trying to.
That's right. I
and
remember
there's a
that,
bunch
Bob.
of locations. So someone sent me some links, and I'm like, why don't they just do the conference there? It's a Big Boy press conference. Do it at a Big Boy's.
Well, there you go. And they can sponsor it. They could.
Hey, he doesn't just eat ice cream. Look, he eats burgers too.
Oh, well, yeah, that'll make the voters.
Yeah. It would flip at least 2 states.
He'd have a pickle stuck on his chin.
A little mustard on the shirt.
Oh, he would have someone cut it for him.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
And then he would lose elections.
Yes, that'd be Jill Biden.
Jill
or Hunter.
Jill cutting his burger in half.
Jill's cutting his burger in half, and Hunter's cutting out something else for him. Anyway, Joe, of course, there's all kinds of cries for Joe to get out of the race, which really, to me, I think this should have been done long ago. But because people were not paying attention, those that do not follow talk radio or follow the issues, we've been telling you all this for 3.5 years that something's wrong with the guy. And then all of a sudden, everybody sees him on the debate a couple of weeks ago with Donald Trump and how bad he was. Folks, we've been watching that all for the past 3.5 years, and it's just progressively getting worse. But in spite of that, some people paying attention and finally finally seeing the light, but there are some people, especially some celebrities, and I don't know why. I mean, I think it's fine that celebrities, make their, they can talk about politics, whatever, they're involved too. But I just hate it when news organizations treat them like, oh my gosh, George Clooney has just spoken. He said he's not supporting. Big deal. George Clooney's an actor. He's an actor. And he's a good one. I love people in the arts. I love the work they do. But sometimes I really don't need to hear what they feel like my life should be like, how I should vote. Nothing, it's like fingernails on a chalkboard when I hear a celebrity go, my fans look to me. My fans look to me to enlighten them. Oh my gosh. If you're looking for a celebrity to enlighten you, you need help. Trust me, that celebrity's life is probably more screwed up than yours. And it's not that I hate celebrities. I don't hate anybody, number one. But two, I love celebrities. I mean, I've met a lot of them. Some are nice, some are not. But they're just folks like us, except they, of course, become more successful. And their lives are more screwed up as they make more money. And then they don't live the life that we do. But there is a celebrity that has come out for Joe Biden. And it's from the rock and roll world. You may remember the song, We're Not Gonna Take It. It is Dee Snider of Twisted Sister. He came out on Twitter yesterday, and he decided to, make his feelings known as the election draws closer. Dee Snider tweeted this. He said, exactly, this election isn't about two ancient candidates. It's about personal freedom. And all those freedom fighters on the right don't want freedom for all. They want freedom only for themselves. Dee, I have to point out to you Because in your statement, you say that these quote-unquote freedom fighters on the right don't want freedom for all. Man, you're sorely mistaken. We do want freedom for all. You're believing the lie. And that's sad. That's very sad. I'm not a big Twisted Sister fan. I liked some of their tunes, but they weren't my favorite rock band. But I always liked Dee Snider. I always found him interesting. Still find him interesting. But that's the problem with celebrities, is they tend to take themselves too seriously sometimes. And then they begin to believe, even the more famous they become, that what they say is so important. It's very important what I say, because people follow me. Folks, don't follow celebrities. Don't follow celebrities at all. Follow your conscience, follow your heart, follow your brain, and follow your faith. It's 7:45. It's time to check the roads on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Thanks, Jack. At 7:45, partly sunny today. Look for a high of 92. Enjoy it while you've got it, though, because, man, if you've got a pool, get that dude ready, because we're going to be hitting the 90s, the mid-90s. By Monday, we're going to be hitting 100 degrees. It's currently 70. I don't have a temperature up here. Anyway, I'd say it's around 75 degrees at Super Talk 99.7 WTN. And we were talking about, of course, Dee Snider, rock and roller that is behind Joe Biden because he believes that the Democrats offer freedom for everyone while the Republicans offer freedom only for themselves. And that's not true. But that's what Dee's going to, that's his freedom. He can vote the way he wants. But I'm just concerned with people following celebrities and making their choices because of them. If you're one of those people, you need to really check yourself at the door. Because that celebrity does not live the kind of life you do. And probably once you got to know that celebrity, you'd find, I think their life's kind of screwed up. I thought mine was. Theirs is even worse.
I will say this. I've always said this. A celebrity, if they are worth millions of dollars, whoever's the president will not affect their life whatsoever.
No. Well, no.
So why listen to them?
That's the whole thing. As far as you heard Janet Yellen about a month ago when she was asked about the high prices. She said, they said, you've experienced the sticker shock. And she went, no, because it doesn't affect her. She's wealthy. That's what people don't get. Well, President Biden, of course, today, he's under the wire. 4:30, the big boy press conference. Well, the Republican-led U.S. House of Representatives Oversight Committee have now subpoenaed 3 senior White House aides, demanding that they sit for depositions regarding Joe Biden's health. They said they subpoenaed First Lady Jill Biden's top aide, Anthony Barnell, Deputy Chief of Staff, Annie Tomasini, and Senior Advisor Ashley Williams. The development was reported earlier by Axios. And of course, what they're saying is that key White House staff must come before any committee so they can provide the transparency and accountability that Americans deserve. That came from James Comer, the panel's chair. He said, according to one former Biden aide, these 3 employees created a protective bubble around President Biden. And it wasn't just them. It was also the media and anyone else that is helping out the Democrats. White House spokesperson Ian Sound says that, like everything Congressman Comer has done over the past year, these subpoenas are a baseless political stunt intended for him to get media attention instead of engage in legitimate oversight. His partisan attacks on the president have been discredited, and now he continues to debase the House by weaponizing subpoenas to get headlines instead of seeking information through the proper constitutional process. Right. Yeah, it's time. It's time to start asking questions. It's time to really dig in. Why was this? This has been the strangest presidential election I have ever watched unfold. Have you guys ever thought you would see this? I really didn't. It's bizarre. And there's so much writing on this. You know, I've heard people complain about, quit saying it's for the soul of America. Folks, it is. That's what these past elections have been about. It's all about whether we're going to stay the course of being a country that is steeped in conservatism, that is totally capitalist, money-based. Or you want to go the route of socialism, government control. And I cannot believe that people from the Woodstock generation want government control. You know, I was with the hippies in some ways about the government. Yeah, I'm with you. But then they started getting crazy, and then they grew up and they got into government. And look what's happened. They're worse than the man they were fighting. They become more intrusive. And plus, with the illegal immigration that is now just festering through our country, as bad as it is, I have an update, and it's not a good one. I'm sorry. But yesterday I told you about an illegal immigrant in Alabama. His name was Zelvin Gomez. I guess that's the name of the little girl. Anyway, the little girl that was riding with this illegal immigrant. Yesterday, I told you that she was in the hospital with injuries. She has now passed away. And now this guy is heading for manslaughter charges. And should be. But I definitely want to watch this story and see what happens with him, because if things keep going the way they are, what's going to happen with this guy? He's going to be sent down to the border, let go, and guess what? He'll be right back in the country. We have got to get serious about this. It's getting out of control. And I'm tired of preaching about it. I'm tired of hearing politicians say the same things over and over. I've been down to the border, and we're trying to make things work. We're trying to we need to pass some laws. No, you don't. You've got laws on the books that can solve this problem. You just won't do it. And that's why it's so important for Donald Trump to win this election. Because out of anybody that's ever been in that office, anyone that has run, Republican or Democrat, he has been the only one that has been brave enough to bring this problem to the forefront and wants to do something about it. And I'm ready to back him on that, because I am frankly sick. I'm sick of watching the border being run like it is, and I'm tired of watching our country being run over by people that have no business being here. 7:53, we have news at 8 o'clock, and with Ken Weaver. Ken, what's coming up?
Well, consumer prices are still elevated, but cooling off just a tad. We've got the latest inflation reading for you. And in West Tennessee, you got to hear how a federal judge has ruled in the case of a city who fined a woman for having the F word on a political sign in her yard at 8 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Hey, it's Dan Mandis. For my friends at Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling, how would you like to win a free 3-day beach vacation getaway to Savannah, Georgia? My friends at Busy Bee can hook you up. Now listen, if you've been thinking about getting a new AC unit, you buy it here in July from Busy Bee, and you are eligible to win this fantastic trip to Savannah, Georgia. They take care of the gas, the lodging, and a couple of meals a day. You buy the AC unit, we take care of the vacation. Another incredible promotion they have going on for July, you buy a Beehive membership, and you get one free yearly membership for someone in your neighborhood. Now that is cool. They also know that times are tough, so they have great financing options as well with approved credit. Check out all this and a whole lot more online, busybeehvac.com, 615-775-7833, 615-775-7833, your Rude Pro partner, busybeehvac.com.
8 o'clock on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Next couple of days, we're supposed to see the hottest days of the year so far. We've got it during the full forecast and traffic in 5 minutes. Right now in America, consumer prices still rising faster than the Fed wants to be able to cut interest rates. June's report shows a 3% increase year over year. It is the smallest increase in over a year, but the Fed has said it won't be totally comfortable cutting interest rates until inflation is at 2.5%. Election 2024. Here's one Tennessee delegate to the Democratic convention on the issue of whether President Biden should drop out.
Even if he died, I would probably still vote for Joe Biden. I would vote for a dead man before I would vote for Donald J. Trump.
That's Nashville State Rep Vincent Dixie on News 2. Meanwhile, ABC News political director Rick Klein has new poll numbers.
A new poll with the Washington Post and Ipsos shows the toll the last 2 weeks have taken on the president's standing overall. 85% of the country thinks that Joe Biden right now is too old to be president. That is up sharply over the past year. Now, 60% of the country also thinks the same about President Trump, but that's nowhere near Biden's number. And when it comes to what he should do next, 2/3 of the country, 67% of voters overall, think that Joe Biden should step aside and let someone else run in this place.
All ears and eyes are going to be on President Biden's first solo news conference in 8 months today. It's set for 4:30 Middle Tennessee time. Right now in Nashville, got a shooting investigation where Channel 4 says a bullet went through a man's window as he was driving on Hamilton Church Pike this morning just after 1 o'clock. Bullet hit him in the head. He was able to drive himself to a fire station for help, was rushed to a hospital with what were described as serious injuries. No word on a suspect. Also in Tennessee, legal ways to get high could be limited further under proposed new rules from the State Department of Agriculture. The rule could make hemp flowers illegal because they exceed legal THC levels when smoked. Hemp growers are vowing to sue the state if that rule takes effect.
We created all this revenue for the state, and now they want to take it away. It makes zero sense.
And News Channel 5 says a federal judge has ruled in favor of a West Tennessee resident who put a political sign in her yard with the F word on it. Lakeland homeowner Julie Perea's sign reads, F 'em both 2024.
Always been very expressive, and that's not just, in my verbal communication, but also like we decorate our house for every holiday.
Perea was given a citation by code enforcement after her neighbors complained, but this federal judge tossed it, saying it violates her free speech. The judge ordered the city of Lakeland to pay up $31,000 in Perea's attorney fees, and he gave her $1 in damages. Market Numbers Report brought to you by Beacon Capital Management, online at beaconcm.com. Right now, Dow futures are down 26. S&P is flat. NASDAQ is flat. That's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
It's 8:07. It's Thursday morning. Good morning, and we're glad you're with us on Nashville's Morning News. Dan Mandis, who is usually here, is going to be back Monday, and we're looking forward to his return. But you have Ken Weaver in the newsroom, Jeff Malinoff in where I usually sit, flying the plane, and Johnny B right here sitting in for Dan Mandis, and we're glad you're with us at 615-737-9986. That's the Members Nutrition Super Text line. You can get involved that way. You can also watch the radio show if you like. You can watch a bunch of, you can tell. Johnny B he's got a face for radio. And you can tell by going on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, 997WTN.com. You can also, you can download the app, our app, or there are other apps that will carry the radio station. You can take us anywhere you want. And, of course, the good old-fashioned way by turning on your radio. I was listening to Ken Weaver's newscast, and I heard about this. It was a young lady that had a sign outside her house that said, F both of them?
Yeah, F them both.
F them both.
Yeah, this lady, Julie Perea, there in Lakeland, Tennessee, which is just east of Memphis, apparently made her neighbors upset because of the F word. They're on her political sign that says F them both. So she was given a warning by code enforcement there in Lakeland to take it down. Well, she didn't. So then they gave her a citation. Well, apparently this went all the way to a federal judge who said, no, she can have that sign up. That's violating her free speech. So the sign stays. The judge ordered the city of Lakeland to pay her $31,000 attorney fees and gave her $1 for damages.
And so, you had some sound on her, didn't you?
Yeah.
Can we hear that again?
Yeah, let's.
Okay.
She was kind of introducing herself. Yeah, News Channel 5 did this story.
All right.
And it caught my eye this morning. I thought, I've got to tell everybody about this story on News Channel 5. But here she is, Julie Perea of Lakeland, Tennessee.
Always been very expressive, and that's not just, in my verbal communication, but also, like, we decorate our house for every holiday.
Yeah, last Christmas... She set up a display from the movie Christmas Vacation that was an inflatable RV adorned with the famous catchphrase, you know what's full.
That's awesome.
I love this girl's sense of humor.
She was cited for that, too.
You're kidding.
No. No. Now,
some people don't have a sense of humor.
No, they don't.
Yeah, the city, apparently, according to News Channel 5, eventually settled with Julie on that case.
Uh-huh.
And, but they went all the way to the federal judge here on this political sign that says F them both.
Can you imagine being that federal judge, though? Like, I worked so hard to get to where I am, and this is what you're sending me?
Yeah.
Well, see, it's made me wonder because out where I live, we live close to a little town called Eagleville.
Yeah.
And on Highway 99, which takes you into Murfreesboro, on the way to Murfreesboro, there was a home. I always wanted to stop at this house and just talk to the guy.
Yeah.
Almost did it once. But he had this huge flag. And it had, the Biden logo and all that. But at the top of it, over his logo, it said F Joe Biden. And I think he had two flags. He had one and it got really worn out. The next thing I knew, there was a new one.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it's... But I noticed it's been taken down, so I wonder if...
So was he, like, in the city limits of Murfreesboro?
No, he's not in Murfreesboro. He's in Eagleville.
Oh, in Eagleville. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So that... But somebody might have complained because I noticed that the flag now is down.
It's down. Well, I mean, here's the thing. So, let's say everybody hears this story, how a federal judge says, yeah, that's all right to put a sign up there with the F word on it.
Well, you know what? I was told by
I can see him popping up all over Tennessee now.
Oh, I could too. And in fact, it about makes me want to buy one myself. It really does.
Oh, my.
Well, I was told by a Williamson County sheriff's deputy.
Yeah.
When I was complaining about there was The land baron across the street was burning like 100 trees, and all the smoke was coming into our house.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, and I called William because I didn't want to call anybody. In fact, I waited a couple of days thinking they may quit, and they didn't. So, but the deputy told me, he said, well, I can't do anything because whatever you want to do on your property, you can do. And I thought, well, I'll remember that.
Whatever you want to do on your property.
You can. They can't stop. So I'm going to remember that. I said, well, next time I feel like running around naked in my yard, I think I'll do it.
Yeah.
It's my property.
Well, just like that neighbor of mine in Albuquerque. He wasn't naked. But all that was between him and the world was a little Speedo.
A Speedo while he was hosing off his...
hosing off his driveway.
I love the way you put that.
That's what he was doing.
Okay, I'll take your word for it.
But yeah, it'll be interesting to see if more of these signs that have the F them both on it pop up, or F whomever.
I mean,
of course, I'm not advocating for that.
I'm not advocating for it, but I'm not one of these people that I'm not squeamish, and I admit I cuss a lot, and I try not to.
Well, if you're trying to sell your home across the street, that might be...
That'd be kind of tough. Or how would you explain to the kids, Mommy, what does that mean? Now, that I can understand.
I would say, well, she doesn't like either of those people.
Yeah. But what's that word?
Oh, that word. Look, a snack. Go get it. Just throw it run over there and get it. That's what I do with my nieces and nephews. I sometimes just grab a snack and throw it across the room, and they run and go get it. And just me? No way.
Chef Malinoff treating his family members.
Now get away from me, boy.
Get away from me.
It's my 3-year-old nephew and niece. Okay, you have to handle a nephew and niece at the age of 3.
Yeah.
Anything you can to get a little reprieve, you're gonna do. So if you have what they want, and it's a living room, and there's open spaces, you could throw it in there's 15 to 20 seconds, maybe even more.
You like watching them run for it, don't you?
It's kind of funny because they're adorable with their little feet. I love them to death.
I know. It's 8:15. Time to
get away from me, boy.
Yeah, get away from me. You bother me. It's 8:15. Time to check the roads on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Thanks, Jack. It's 8:15. Look for partly sunny skies today. High of 92. And we're going to really heat up the next couple of days until Monday. It'll hit the 100-degree mark. So get ready. 77 degrees right now. Sunny on Nashville's Music Row. It's Super Talk 99.7 WTN. And it is Nashville's Morning News. And thank you for joining us. Johnny B here. And I want to thank you guys again. This week has marked 20 years that I've been working here at Super Talk 99.7 WTN. And man, I have been very thankful for that. And a lot of the thanks goes to my great coworkers and the great people that listen to this very radio station. We love y'all.
We love you, brother Johnny B.
Yeah. I've known you for like 2 months now, and we've already grown a friendship.
That's right, man. And I love you too, Jeff. I may even go on a cruise with you.
Yeah, well, I'll be at the buffet.
And hit the buffet. I'll be there with you, buddy.
I am an expert buffet. You know this. So I will hook you up with the best.
Well, cool, man. I'll take you up on that. Well, listen, today is the big boy press conference day. Everybody's going to be watching the big press conference coming up at 4:30 this afternoon, which means it'll probably start up about 5:15. But anyway, that'll be during the drive. And today you have Matt Murphy. And I know Matt's going to have plenty to say about that. But yesterday, in the New York Times, you had a scathing op-ed that was written And I wish we had more money for production, but I would have a big echo of the Clooney speaks. Everybody's acting like, this is what kills me about celebrities. People are acting like now, Clooney says he ought to get out.
Yeah.
Oh, George Clooney has come out now.
That's over with now, boys.
Who in the hell is George Clooney? I mean, I know who he is, and I love his acting. And he may not even be a bad guy, but I don't agree with his politics. But everybody acts like George Clooney is the kingmaker. What made George Clooney the kingmaker? Just because a bunch of people find him attractive? He's so cute. I've heard that from, I hate to admit that, but I've heard that from some women that have voted for a candidate. Why'd you vote for him? Well, he's cute. That's why my mother-in-law voted for Bill Clinton. He was cute.
I'm assuming no one has used that excuse for the last couple of elections, though.
I hope not. But anyway, this is what.
Of course they have.
Of course, everybody thinks I'm cute. I'm the greatest.
About 84 million Americans.
I'm your favorite president. There's a lot of reasons for that. I'm rich, I'm successful, and I'm very pretty. Anyway, George Clooney's piece. Now, what people may realize is that it turns out that George Clooney got in touch with one Barack Obama before he wrote the op-ed.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And this is what I love. They say, while Obama did not encourage or advise Clooney to say what he said, I want to call bovine scatology right there.
Yeah.
Oh, no. No, Barack didn't. No.
George, I'd say you do whatever you want.
Yeah, can you hear Obama saying that? No. I guarantee you what he said. Hey, George, write this now. In fact, I can help you out a little bit if you want. But they said he didn't encourage or advise Clooney to say what he said, but he didn't object to it. That's according to Politico. Both men were in attendance at a recent Hollywood fundraiser bash to raise funds for Biden's re-election campaign. So this is what I love about these guys, too. And it's not just George Clooney. See, George wrote that op-ed yesterday, but you also had Michael Douglas, who guested on The View, and he also, now, just a couple of weeks ago, had a fundraiser for Biden, was telling all of us, Biden is so different behind the scenes. He's rocking it. They're wrong. But now, yesterday, this is what Michael Douglas had to say about Joe Biden. And I need some sound there, Jeff.
You even hosted a fundraiser at your home in April, right?
I did.
So what do you think of his debate performance, and do you agree with calls for him to step aside? Even Nancy Pelosi seems on the fence now about him stepping aside.
I know this is such a tough one, but I adore the guy. 50 years of public service. A wonderful guy.
Yeah.
And this just happens to be one of these elections that is just so crucial.
Yeah.
And it's really hard. I don't worry necessarily today or tomorrow, but a year down the line, I worry. I am concerned.
Yeah. It's funny how quick Hollywood changes their mind. But that's show business, folks. Show business is rough. Clooney, however, referenced that the Biden Hollywood fundraiser in his article. He said the one battle that Joe Biden can't win is the fight against time. None of us can. Very true. It's devastating to say it, but Joe Biden, I was with 3 weeks ago at the fundraiser, was not the Joe Big Effing Deal Biden of 2010. He wasn't even the Joe Biden of 2020. He was the same man we all witnessed at the debate. Now, nothing was said after the fundraiser. Now, if that's the way that Clooney felt at that fundraiser, if that's the way Michael Douglas felt, why are they waiting till now? Why are they waiting until now? And if you truly believe that George Clooney talked to Barack Obama and Barack Obama didn't,
that'll be up to you, George.
Yeah, it's up to you. Whatever you want to do, George. Go ahead. No. No. What's happening is the Democrat Party wants Joe Biden to step down. That's the honest truth of it. Barack Obama, I think, would love for Joe Biden to step down now. And even Biden, even Obama's minions, the ones that are still in the White House, want Joe Biden out. The only people that don't want Joe Biden out are some Democrats that are just going to hang on because they realize it's probably too late. And it's also the Biden crime family. Because I'm telling you, they may be trying to take Joe from the White House, but they'll have to fight Hunter and Jill. In fact, I guarantee you they probably already have the doors locked and they probably already have them bolted. Good luck on that. It's 8:22, 8:30. We have news coming up with Ken Weaver. Ken, what's happening in the newsroom?
Got a brand new inflation report, new polling on whether President Biden should drop out, and new rules that limit legal ways to get high in Tennessee could draw lawsuits. Coming up at 8:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Dan Mandis here for my friends at DT McCall's. Listen, this is the store that I go to anytime I need something for my home, my yard, my garage. You name it, they've got it at DT McCall's, a great American company. Now, a while back, I needed a new stove, and I needed it quickly. My friends at DT McCall's had it immediately. All I had to do was go online, dtmccalls.com, and I found the kind of stove that I wanted, the brand, the color, and everything, and it was available almost immediately. So they delivered it for free, and they hauled away the old one. See, that's what I love about DT McCall's, a great American company that has outstanding customer service and great Tennessee values as well. They've got 5 locations across Middle Tennessee. No doubt one near you. Carthage, Cookeville, Lafayette, Lebanon, and Franklin. Always online at that website, dtmccalls.com. When you reach out, do me a favor and tell them that you heard about them on Nashville's Morning News and Dan Mandis, dtmccalls.com.
prices were 3.1% higher last month than they were a year ago. That's actually a slight improvement on May's inflation level.
I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got the full forecast and traffic in 5 minutes. Tell you about that heat wave that's on the way. Yeah, Melanie Layden's been telling us about what could be the hottest days of the year so far, just around the corner, so to speak. Right now in America, inflation continues to cool, but ever so slowly. This morning's report shows prices rose at a rate of 3% in June over last year. That makes 4 consecutive months that the inflation rate has ticked lower. It was 3.3% in May. A decline in gas prices last month offset an increase in housing and food prices, according to the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics. And as for what might happen with interest rates, the Fed chair this week said it will not lower interest rates until it has gained greater confidence that inflation is moving sustainably toward that 2% mark. Election 2024, this Tennessee delegate to the Democratic National Convention telling News 2 he'll probably vote for President Biden even if he dies.
I think he's still the best person for this job of the two candidates in this race. He has my full support. I'm still riding with Biden.
That's Nashville State Rep Vincent Dixie. Meanwhile, Jim Ryan with new poll results on the issue of whether President Biden should drop out of the race.
Names of potential replacements as the party's nominee are being tossed around, but the new ABC News Washington Post Ipsos poll suggests that Vice President Kamala Harris is preferred among voters over President Biden. The same data shows her with a 3% lead over Donald Trump if the election were held today.
Yeah, all ears and eyes are going to be on President Biden's solo news conference scheduled for 4:30 Middle Tennessee time this afternoon. This will be his first news conference in 8 months. Here in Tennessee, legal ways to get high could be limited further under proposed new rules from the State Department of Agriculture. They would make hemp flowers illegal because when you smoke them, they exceed the legal limit on THC. Well, Tennessee hemp growers say they'll sue the state if this new rule takes effect. Market Numbers report. Market Numbers brought to you by Beacon Capital Management, online at beaconcm.com. Let's check the markets now that the trading is open for the day there on Wall Street. Right now, it looks like the Dow is up 21 points. S&P is up 2. NASDAQ up 14. That's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
Dan Mandis here for my friends at DT McCall's. Listen, this is the store that I go to anytime I need something for my home, my yard, my garage. You name it, they've got it at DT McCall's, a great American company. Now, a while back, I needed a new stove, and I needed it quickly. My friends at DT McCall's had it immediately. All I had to do was go online, dtmccalls.com, and I found the kind of stove that I wanted, the brand, the color, and everything, and it was available almost immediately. So they delivered it for free, and they hauled away the old one. See, that's what I love about DT McCall's, a great American company that has outstanding customer service and great Tennessee values as well. They've got 5 locations across Middle Tennessee. No doubt one near you. Carthage, Cookeville, Lafayette, Lebanon, and Franklin. Always online at that website, dtmccalls.com. When you reach out, do me a favor and tell them that you heard about them on Nashville's Morning News and Dan Mandis, dtmccalls.com. Dan Mandis here for my friends at Cove Generators. Listen, if you've been thinking about getting a backup home standby generator, you've got to call my friends at Cove Generators right now because they have a great deal waiting just for listeners to my show. Right now, you can get $500 off when you mention my name, Dan Mandis. By the way, they also have great financing options as well. Now, Cove Generators are your premier Generac home standby generator dealer in the state of Tennessee. They're also really helpful. My buddy Generator Dave, he is going to answer whatever questions you may have before, during, and after the purchase as well. Now, remember that great deal, $500 off when you mention my name, Dan Mandis. That is a deal you're not going to find anywhere else but at Cove Generators. So call them. That phone number is 931-559-3311. 931-559-3311. CoveGenerators.com. Call them, get that home standby generator, and never lose power again. 931-559-3311. CoveGenerators.com.
Whoa, it's that time again. Time flies when you're having fun. 8:39. Good morning. It is Nashville's Morning News. Dan Mandis on vacation. Looking forward to Monday when he returns. Johnny B in his place, along with Chris Hand. Good morning, Chris.
Hey, good morning. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. How
about you, Kim Weaver?
I'm doing good, boys. How are you?
How about you, Brother Jeff?
Always ready to go.
Everybody's ready to go this morning. Well, I want to, I don't know if Chris Hand heard this, but the Rolling Stones apparently made a concert. They did a concert in your home country of Canada, and
just exposing Chris like that.
Oh yeah. I got to expose him a little bit, but but anyway, I don't know why I'm hearing. Let me see what I'm
hearing to other.
Okay, where is that coming from?
That's that commercial right there.
Okay, maybe we're gone now. Yeah, okay, good.
And here we see the veteran having trouble with this new technology.
That's right. I'm having a
veteran of the radio industry, not used to no play tapes. And
hey, buddy, it's my big boy. It's my big boy gang of four. Okay, lay off. Anyway, no, I'm kidding. But anyway, the Rolling Stones are playing your home country of Canada, and apparently, Mick. See, the great thing about Mick Jagger, when he goes into different towns, will experience the town ahead of time and find out what's popular, what's cool, and any kind of, so he can relate to the audience. Well, apparently Mick didn't. I don't know if anyone else dropped the ball or if Mick did himself, but this is how it kind of went when he mentioned Trudeau.
I mean, we love your Mr. Trudeau. I mean, his family's always been such big fans of our band.
Did I say something wrong?
And he quickly changed the subject.
Yes, he did.
The look on his face.
I'm shocked that we have a major celebrity that isn't really paying attention to what's happening in politics.
Well,
It blows my mind.
He's what, 81 years old?
I thought the celebrities were on the peak of political knowledge.
Yeah, on the pulse of the people.
Yeah,
well, I thought we were supposed to look at them like they were supposed to enlighten us.
Yeah.
on who to vote for.
I like how Keith and Ron just let him sit there, man. I mean, they didn't start playing or anything.
Which family do you think he was talking about? Was he talking about the Trudeaus or the Castros?
Probably the Trudeaus, because one of the family members, when the Rolling Stones played the El Macamba Club in 1977, when Keith Richards got busted with all that heroin, what was it, Margaret Trudeau, the Prime Minister's wife?
Yeah.
Was seen partying with the band.
Classic.
And their marriage ended afterward.
Well, you've heard all the rumors.
Oh, yeah.
There's rumors that the lady Trudeau would,
yeah,
all over the place.
Have fun.
Yeah, she
enjoy activities.
She liked to have fun.
And look at those side by sides of Justin and Fidel. It's interesting. It's wild.
And he just divorced his wife, so he has something in common in that scenario.
Yeah,
well, there you go.
Classy.
Yeah.
I hate Justin Trudeau.
There's no way.
I don't know.
Not a fan.
Honestly,
not a fan at all.
his voice,
Not a fan either.
his voice is so condescending. You know, his natural speaking voice. You're just like, oh, shut up.
Well, have you ever talked to, I mean, that's how it is when you talk to a socialist. They always talk to you like that. They talk down to you. That's why I don't care for them. That's why we don't want them in charge. Not a fan.
I do like in Canada, they have the oppositions talk to each other. I wish that was here. I kind of wish it was here because I would love to see Biden have to sit there and listen to the Republicans talk to him and he having to talk back to him, because I think that would be hilarious.
You're overestimating his ability to stay awake.
I know, but I want to see it. I want to. Well, wouldn't that be even better? They're talking. It's all right, our honorable president of the United States, and he's just asleep on his chair.
Maybe. I think we need less of them. Are you looking forward to this big boy press conference today?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I really am.
Brought to you by Bob's
Big
Boy.
I actually am looking forward to the big boy. I want to see what happens.
Well, I want to see how it is conducted.
Yes.
I want to see if the White House has maybe put some plants in the press corps there, where, what kind of questions that Biden will actually be asked and who he will call on to ask the question, because there are rules in place.
Oh, yes. I'm sure Peter Doocy is number one in that.
Oh,
well, and I think it was the last little press corps conference he had. He had pictures of the reporters with their name.
Yes.
Well,
so
he's
he
done
could
that
find them in the crowd.
Yeah, he's done that at I think at most of them, if not all of them.
It has to be all of them. There's no way.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
We'll see.
It is.
We shall see.
Yes, we shall.
People are going to be watching this with the highest levels of scrutiny.
Oh, yeah. And it's going to probably be one of the most watched press conferences, I guarantee you.
I hope he stays in the race.
Well, we are hoping.
Conservatives for Biden.
Someone on our chat line did say, do you think this press conference could possibly be him resigning? And I don't think that'd be something. I don't think that's the case.
I don't think that's. No, I don't think that's going to happen at all.
How do you recover after losing Clooney?
The great Clooney has spoken. And no, he was not. I don't care what anybody says. He was the worst Batman.
Oh, he was the worst one. Yeah.
Facts.
Oh, my God.
Funny enough, I have that movie on VHS. And I played it as a kid thinking it was good and then realized, oh, wait, this is awful.
I like the part where they're fighting crime on ice skates.
Yeah. Their bat suits, the Bat and Robin suits have ice skates.
Yeah.
Bat credit cards.
Yeah.
Oh.
That was my favorite part.
I still like Tommy Lee Jones.
Yes.
He was a good Two-Face. Him and Jim Carrey's The Riddler were actually pretty entertaining.
Those two were the only ones that saved that awful movie.
Yep.
But anyway, speaking of awful, Mark Zuckerberg, man, is this? I'm sure you've read this. Donald Trump threatening to send Mark Zuckerberg to prison if he's elected.
Oh my gosh! Could you imagine? Could you imagine the calls coming from the other inmates as he got walked to his cell? Fish.
Oh, he's. Oh my gosh!
And I liked what Trump called him in this statement. He said, "So watch out, Zuckerbucks."
There's another nickname. Put it on the wall.
Zuckerbucks.
So what's he going to toss him in jail for?
He's going to get serious about all of this election, people getting involved in these elections.
Oh, the censorship.
The tampering, the censorship,
and
the tampering,
censorship.
And so he said anybody that is caught under his administration screwing with elections is going to be spending a little prison time.
Interesting.
And I think that needs to happen because that's the whole problem with our election system. It's too much of a slap on the hand if you get caught.
Yep.
It should be serious because, man, this is the most important thing we do as American citizens, and it should be treated as such.
Amen.
Right on.
I'm with it.
Yeah, I'm a fan.
You're a fan.
So did you bring anything today?
I did. Did you hear that there was a guy, he was getting on a plane in China, and he had hundreds of snakes in his pockets?
I saw that.
Did you see that?
In his pockets.
In his pockets?
In his pockets. This guy was, I'm trying to pull up the story now. Hold on.
I think it was on Channel 4, wasn't it?
Snakes on a plane.
Channel 4 have that?
I don't know, dude. Do you watch Channel 4?
No. Well,
Brother Chris doesn't pay attention to local news, man.
I'm not watching
he
Channel
pays
4.
attention to it, but he doesn't watch it.
Man caught trying to smuggle over 100 live snakes into China in pants pockets.
Wow.
Five different species of snakes were discovered in sealed bags stuffed into the man's pockets by customs officers.
So it was a sequel to Snakes on a Plane.
It was.
Yeah.
He was trying to cross into the southern Chinese city of Shenzhen, but was stopped at the checkpoint, and that's when they found the snakes.
Ah, darn.
Interesting.
Officer, I can explain.
Can you, though?
No, you can't.
Hey, officer, I've got a snake in me pocket. But anyway,
Yeah, you're just...
He's not Woody. There's no snakes in his boots. He had to put in his pants.
What?
That's a dad joke. That's my dad would have said something like that. Sorry, that was my dad in me.
Oh, Brother Jeff.
Brother Jeff.
Woody and pants.
So we were talking this morning. So Chris, you a fan of cruise ships?
Oh yeah.
No.
Me either.
They're floating prisons.
Yes, they are.
Why would you get on them? And I'm saying this, I'm going to go on record now. If Mandis doesn't bring us back mouse ears this time, I'm going to be pissed.
He would forget. You would have to write it down, did he?
Now, Jeff is one that likes going on cruises.
You're a fan of floating prisons?
Okay.
Yes,
It depends on the cruise, of course, but I love the buffets on cruises, is what I said.
You can get those on land.
I know.
You can get those
I know.
right
It's
here.
like, but yes, I understand, but I liked... My last cruise was fun. I enjoyed it. It was a country music cruise. We had country music artists there.
Yeah.
A lot. Craig Morgan was there, one of my favorites.
I do
music
like
artists.
him, yeah.
He was great. It was fun. We got to interact with people. We got to interact with bands. It was a good time.
You're not selling me.
No,
You're
me
not.
either.
Well, okay,
Me
sorry.
either. I like Craig Morgan. And I love buffets, but I can see Craig Morgan in this town and go
Pop some,
to.
pop some earbuds in and go to a buffet. You can have Craig Morgan right there.
Well, my problem is, and people think I hate people, that I don't want to be around people.
Now, Brother Johnny
And
B.
that's not true.
No.
Ken Weaver can back me up on that. I'm not that kind of person.
Right.
I do tend to like to be alone a little bit more than others, probably. I'm a little more, but it doesn't mean I don't love people. I do. There's plenty of people I love.
Yeah.
But to me, going on vacation, getting on a ship, a floating ship with a bunch of strangers I don't
100%.
know, that doesn't sound appealing to me.
Well, it seems like everybody gets the stomach flu after it.
Yeah, or
on it.
Or there's always one person. There's always one person too among the people that will just drive you nuts. That will bug you.
Yep.
They can't leave you well enough alone. You're on vacation, and I've been in those situations before. There's always one. They want to talk to you constantly, and I'm thinking, this is why I went on vacation, to get away from having to talk to anybody.
Right.
That's why I'm there.
Yep.
Sorry.
So I guess we're not going to float down the Harpeth this year, Brother Johnny?
Oh, well, that's different, Ken. No, we're going to go float down the Harpeth.
Get us a bunch of tractor inner tubes?
Exactly.
Just head down the Harpeth.
I'm ready.
With his jar of pickles from his wife.
Boy, you won't give that up,
I
will
won't.
you?
I want the pickles.
She even, she said, she goes, you were right. He was whining yesterday.
Oh, my gosh.
She even agreed.
Jeff is basically begging for the pickle.
So I like pickles.
Well,
Leave me alone.
So we know that Jeff likes pickles and he likes the buffet.
I like buffets on vacation and
There
I
you
like
go.
pickles.
Well, there's nothing wrong. Jeff, I'm right there with you. I like buffets and pickles myself. So we're cool.
All things available on land.
Well, I also grew up on going to lakes every summer and like that, so I love the water.
Well, I do too. I love the water as well, but I also love my
personal space.
Yeah,
I completely understand that.
In fact, I love just going on the beach and there's nobody here.
Maybe
fantastic.
Perfect. That's
maybe
a perfect
because
beach
I
day.
liked the cruises because it wasn't as crowded as I thought it was going to be.
That's
it was
good.
pretty open spaced.
Well, then that's better. That's better than.
Yeah, you didn't really run into people.
Okay, that's good. Well, speaking of running into people, we didn't let you finish, or we didn't even ask you what's coming up on the Chris Ann Show.
All right, so on the show today, we're going to be gearing up for the big boy press conference.
Yeah.
We have Dems turning on Biden. Some are not so sure, and he's losing top support. Plus, John Kirby goes on Fox News to try to defend him. The polls are out. It's not looking good for Joe Biden. And I got a couple of quick stories that I also want to get to. Hold on. Oh, yeah. Huma Abedin and George Soros' kid got married.
Oh, yeah, Alex and... They get married or they get engaged?
I would rather go on a cruise than be at that wedding.
Me too. We'll go on a cruise before I go to that wedding.
Is there a buffet? I can't finish. I'm sorry.
CNN layoffs are incoming, and we also have young Americans flocking to the Republican Party.
Yes, they are, and there's a lot of good reason for that, and you'll have plenty of those to tell people. Chris Hand is up next, and then, of course, at 12 noon, it's the Matt Murphy Show with Des Dickerson in, and Matt Murphy. 3 o'clock will be on the drive for Brian Wilson. And, of course, he'll have the big boy Joe Biden press conference. You don't want to miss it. It's all right here. Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Selling your home a breeze this summer with my friends at Mark Spain Real Estate. You know, they are the #1 most reviewed real estate company in America. They've got over 11,000 5-star reviews. And friends, it's all about the guaranteed offer. They're going to sell your home fast and for maximum profit without all the hassle.